sale to most normies, and they go, "Damn, I." Some people said this is the worst, the biggest L I've ever caught, which generally means if you catch a big L, that's not because you were on one phone. It means you had multiple devices and you caught an L on all of them, right? So, I think that it's an interesting contrast. You have like the advanced community who's been tapped in, who's opening boxes and showing IRL photos. And in a traditional drop, those are seeded pairs, right? Those are pairs that are going to celebrities, plugs, like people who are getting backdoored pairs, all that. But no, this is like the community. Like you're the plug. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that that's just such a cool way of democratizing. Like generally you have to have a wholesale account, you'd have to have X amount of volume at your store, you'd have to have a relationship with Nike. Like it's not simple, right? But I know people who scooped up tons of pairs and got full size range for their neighborhood, or like, all that. So I mean it's just such a interesting thing, and all you need to do is learn the technology or get onboarded to have this massive advantage. And then, I mean, look, let's talk about it. Like people want like an airdrop or whatever it is to be able to make a profit. Bro, these things are selling for double, triple, quadruple, and that's just the void pair. Like I think the OGs and all these other pairs, when people are catching wind, I had people asking about Air Force Ones today. Like it's the exact onboarding event that you would expect, right? So yeah, I mean, it was interesting to say the least. Yo, I see a couple more people in the audience. If anybody wants to jump up on stage and give your opinion, I mean, I think this is all of our moment. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna keep an eye on my DMs because yesterday I just faded them, and there was people trying to get up there, and it was bugging, so it wouldn't let me approve somebody. But oh, we got Kari in the audience here. Yeah, let me add you as a speaker here. Love to get your take on that as a
Yeah.
pro.
While you bring him up, the one thing I wanted to say, kind of relating back to what you were talking about, just seeing even like Uncle Chrissy after our combos, he was even like, it's like, yo, how did none of these actually get backdoored? Like I thought this was actually just going to kind of go like a normal deal, and it's just the whole process of what we're doing with this model of forging and pre-ordering. It just it makes things different in the sense that you don't have to stress and really worry about some of those things about drops, especially when it comes to knowing like the final supply numbers and things like that. So
I mean, and I thought that it was super dope because look, you know what? Like I caught the L, right? But like I got fam in this community who, they're, like I said, they're not a big wholesaler, they're not a plug, so to speak, but because they knew the tech, they became my plug, and they're like, bro, like you caught an L, like you need these, and boom, I'm getting them, at cost, and shipped to me, you know what I mean? And to give that opportunity to just regular people instead of people who have to um, you know, have to have a certain amount of volume or have connects with Nike or to have pairs backdoored, like to give that to everyday people, that opportunity, whether you're going to flip them or you're going to just hook up your family, your homies and all that stuff. I think that's just so sick, and obviously I'm happy I caught the dub after catching the L, right? You know what I mean? And purely because of my connection to the community and technology and all that stuff. So yeah, it was really really super interesting. Bobito, man, you're a sneakerhead for a long time, man. What's your feelings on today?
Yeah, so first and foremost, thank you, Dutchie. Appreciate you hosting and holding us down like you've been for a while now.
Facts.
Yeah. So today went like any typical sneakers drop, right? I had my 5 accounts going, my iPad, my Android tablet, 2 phones, everything going, and took the L on everything. But it is, was to be expected considering the low stock numbers on this. But I wanted to come up and kind of talk about a little different angle. I think Kari had posted a great question on his Twitter feed earlier today, asking like, what does he think that the sentiment around pre-orders are going to be like moving forward, and will that be something that kind of gets picked up by the sneaker culture? And I think a lot of us have been around long enough. If we all remember those Yeezy 700s were the first dad shoe to come out that had super big hype. That was a pre-order. Like, we ordered those things, and them joints did not get shipped out or come to any of us, you know. And it was an open window, that you were just able to go in there and cop as many as you wanted, and you had to wait about 4 months before you got your shoes. So my thing about the pre-order mentality with us sneakerheads, right? Because that's who I am. I am the OG sneakerhead. The mentality from a lot of us is we're used to copying shoes a certain way, right? We're used to that high of seeing that got 'em and knowing that that shoe is going to arrive at our house within 5 to 6 days after getting that got 'em, right? So we're programmed, just like anyone is programmed in the day to day. It's hard to for anybody to change and adjust what they're used to doing. People don't like change, right? So I think, right, like I put a concept out there. I was a bit limited in the characters that I could use to try to explain myself, but right, like what does Chrissy do? Chrissy announces releases that are coming within the next few weeks to the next few months ahead of time, right? And like we all know right now, Travis Scott lows are going to be dropping in about 5 or 6 other additional colors. What if once that announcement is made, we're able to just go ahead and purchase from this, small little pre-order window that they provide for you? I think a bunch of the sneaker community would jump all over that. Obviously, they're Travis Scott's. It has, that artist name behind it. It has that hype name behind it. So yeah, of course, people are going to jump on that. But I think just having that concept in mind, right? Like just thinking, well, what if once this stuff is announced, once we start seeing images and pictures and knowing what the price point is and what the release date is eventually going to be, if it starts giving people the opportunity to start pre-ordering those items, I think slowly but surely that can start taking effect with the general sneakerhead. For us, it's a bit different, right? Because we're still building this brand, we're still driving awareness to what Artifact is doing. But I think if Nike had started that, or if they decide to start that with one of their other silhouettes that people are just more familiar with now, I think it could start start getting traction with the sneaker community in terms of their thoughts and feelings around pre-order. And that's kind of just what I wanted to chop it up about real quickly, because I know we've touched so many different angles around this, and I think that's one angle we really haven't dived too deeply into.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
that's the other thing, right? Is like some people don't realize that, like, this character or whatever, this PFP and that kind of thing that we have on right now is like a sneaker pass, right? Like, an access pass to future drops and all that stuff. And so I'm curious, like, how this thing could evolve to, like, I mean, how it is in the sort of allow list kind of like NFT crypto space, where it's like, because you own a certain project or brand, now you have access to other partner drops, right? So like it would be interesting to see how, like, maybe there's another limited drop that is maybe not even an artifact drop, but now what if that kind of gives you a guaranteed dub, right? And what, how does that like drive value or consideration? Because right now it's a focus on like the design language around the dunks. Is it chunky? Which, by the way, I mean, like you mentioned, dad sneakers and those kinds of things, they have chunky soles. There's lots of wild sneakers that have chunky soles. So this is not like the first of its kind. Technical wear is popping, like in terms of not technology, but the design language of technical wear. The ACG and all that kind of stuff, right? So acronym and all that stuff. So, it kind of does go along that vibe of things. And so it'd be interesting to see how the partnerships and may influence, because I mean, like, of course there's always been rumors that they're going to do a Jordan collab, right? I mean, obviously it's tinfoil hat, Cass. I won't press you on that, but we know that we saw the team, at the Snkrs app headquarters in New York, posting photos on stories of a bunch of blank all white Jordans, of every single Jordan that's ever been, like, of the classic retros. And it's basically you're standing in front of white canvases, right? And then this week people were asking the team, Clegg and Jarlin, Clegg being the designer of the dunks, the artifact dunks, and then Jarlin being a 3D designer that's done a lot of the visuals and stuff. They said, if you could artifactify one pair of Jordans, which one would it be? And they both responded with a Jordan 4. So that's a collab in itself, right? Is a kind of a co-branded product, and now it goes from like a Nike thing to like a Jordan X artifact thing. And so, how does that change when either you have access to partner projects or other drops, or just kind of remixes of three-way collabs that you see sometimes in the space, where you have a fragment and mixed with a cause and those kinds of things. Cass, what's up?
Jordan Force.
But I was gonna say I don't know who this Jordan guy is that you guys keep talking about, but I just wanted to say something about what Vito was talking about with the pre-orders, because it is one of those things where like you mentioned the Yeezys, and we know like there's the AMMs that have had their like pre-orders, and there's boutiques and kind of other drops, but even like sneakers, Zach mentioned on the Spaces one time the process even for us to get Artifact onto the Snkrs app because of how things operate with the pre-order, it just is like the first of its kind of situation. And so it's really cool that this mechanic worked out where there's a lot of people who can be a part of this now, and also everybody who was like an early collector also gets the benefit of just being early and being in the know. And it's going to be dope to see how that continues. And obviously the goal is always like to just make the process smoother, as you guys have seen. So just keep in touch on some of those topics, but I don't want to start.
That's all right. You ain't got to drop no alpha, man. We got Dre Millie in the house. What's good, Dre Millie?
Jordan Force. That's what Dre Millie is screaming. Top of my lungs. You see, I'm losing my voice, man. I've been
screaming Jordan Force all day.
I've been on a campaign, man. It's been absolutely bananas. So much talking in this last 48 hours. It's wearing down on me. Pause. So yeah, I'm saying following the breadcrumbs as usual. We gonna go Jordan Force.
Well, Dre, you've been an OG with like also like what I love is like when people started because what happens is obviously is like you got people who were sneakerheads before getting into Web3, but then you have people like Bobito, Dre, Frank, like Golden, like a bunch of us who have been into sneakers for 20, 30 years, and then we just so happen to get into the space, and then obviously this project attracted us. So now you can see both sides of the coin, right? You've caught a bunch of L's. Most of the time, you catching dubs. In the talks when we have the bad take Discord. We got a little section where you get the alpha on the drops and the alerts of what's about to come out and all that stuff. So being that you're so active, like how are you feeling about like the outcome in terms of the drop, the communication you've seen on the timeline, like the reaction from the traditional side of things, and then like what's your NFT, crypto brain telling you about kind of what the expectations were on that side? Like how you feeling on both sides of your brain, I guess, about today?
Big brain vibes. Nah, man, for real, all of this is legendary stuff. I don't think it's anything that should be skated over. And I think I'm gonna say it like this. I think the people who are part of the artifacts community have seen these guys do these huge legendary things this entire time. So it's almost like when you're watching greatness happen in the present moment, like being at a basketball game, watching Michael Jordan do his thing when he was playing, or watching LeBron do his thing when he was playing now, you almost overlook how amazing it is for these things to be happening. And then you reflect after it's no longer there to be like, damn, I can't believe that was happening. I can't believe I got to experience that. I think that's what this is here. Having these dudes come up with a concept and take it this far from an imagination to design to execution, and not only that, but link up with Nike and put it on the number one platform to release sneakers on. You can't deny the legacy behind that, right? Like all of
Yeah.
this stuff, like you said, the pre-order meta was not something that Nike has ever done before. Outside of a Nike ID, it was never done for a release like this. And this is something that's going to change the game. Like they're going to see the reception behind all of this, and it's going to change the game. Soon enough, we'll be able to get, I'm saying we'll be able to get the hype sneaker that we want on pre-order and be able to find and get exactly what we want and how we want to get it. It's
That's
just part of the
facts.
game.
Look, I want to, because you talked about Jordan and right, these people getting their own sneaker, right? And then this kind of meta is like kind of like the designers, the gamers, the internet culture. Like there's kind of this opportunity for them to have a voice in the culture, right? Because we kind of decentralized culture across the world, right? It's now no longer local. It's no longer to a specific industry. And so Clegg, who designed these, from 3D files to which he mentioned yesterday on the spaces that was not a traditional way of doing things in terms of designing them entirely in 3D and handing those designs over for manufacturing. But I love this tweet that he put out today that said, I can die happy knowing we created something for the people who grew up like us, enjoying video games, appreciated cartoons, comics, sci-fi, fantasy, computers, editing, tabletop games, films, and everything else in between. We made the dunks for you all. And Zap responds, "Killed it, brother. Dreams to reality." And Benito says, "Cultured." So, I mean, I think that's like from the horse's mouth of what it feels like to have something in your mind, and then now people are posting it all over the timeline. Yo, Cass, you got your hand up, and then I'm gonna jump over to Bobito.
Oh no, I don't know. That shit might be
Oh,
glitching. The soda, Bobito.
bruh, Bobito, you actually got your hand up or nah?
Yeah, no, I got my hand up. So I definitely wanted to touch on something you had mentioned, Dutchie, and Drake kind of finished off on that too. You were kind of alluding to exclusive access, right? Like exclusive access to certain drops that could come in the future based off of what you hold. And we already see them implementing that with Dot Swoosh, right? So if you had a Dot Swoosh account, you had exclusive access to essentially that initial Tina J. And then if you played the game, they gave you exclusive access to the 404s. So, and then if we all remember, right, when we all created our dot swooshes, you had an option to choose the artifact logo as part of that dot swoosh. So I'm sure it's a very simple thing for them to implement in terms of them giving us exclusive access based off of what you hold to certain drops in the future. This is why I kind of got part of this, right? Like I didn't know much about Web3. I didn't know much about crypto. I was dabbling in other platforms that I would not mention that weren't really full Web3 yet, right? And Dre and I was getting involved in Dot Swoosh, and Dre and I ended up on a space together. And I kind of just listened to him and was learning more. I always knew about Artifact, but it was always too priced out of what I could affording a clone. And then connecting with Dre and then joining Bad Take, I soon realized no, I don't need to own a clone to be part of this ecosystem. And I thought that was the biggest thing for me that kind of was eye opening. Like I was able to buy a Dunk NFT, excuse me, an Air Force One NFT, and forge that Air Force One into a physical product. I was able to buy the clothing, season one clothing NFT, forge that into a physical item. And that's how I got started, right? So I saw these Air Force Ones. I fell in love with the Air Force Ones. I said I wanted a part of this. I could afford $400 or $500. I wasn't in a position at that time to just throw $3 to $4 grand on a clone, but I could afford $400 to $500, so I did, and then I was able to forge a bunch of Air Force Ones, and that's how I kind of got involved in this ecosystem. And that's what I think is the beauty behind Artifact is that you don't have to have a clone. As great as it is to have a clone and the potential down the future for what a clone can provide for you, great. All that is all well and good, but the ability to be part of this ecosystem and still get little pieces that you want in this ecosystem, whether it's the shoes, whether it's the clothing, whether it's the animus egg, whatever it is, you have the ability to do that and participate without having to fully have a clone. And I think that's such a dope part of this. Like even with the dunks, right? Like I got my clone late. Like it took me about 7 months before I ended up getting my clone, but I had bought the dunk NFT prior, right? And I got it at a good price and I was able to get a couple of the dunk NFTs. Dunk NFT cost me $100, and I was able to forge one OG and two of the others, the Void and the CloneX pairs, right? So like the value was right there for me without even having to purchase a clone. And I think that is just a huge, huge part of the avenues that Artifact provides for so many people who want to just at least want to dip their toe in this ecosystem without like feeling they have to be full blown involved in it. And I think that that's a great opportunity, and people can slowly but surely start feeling out what we got going on over here, and and join.
Well, I totally agree with you, and I also want to say this though, just because so we don't have the clone maxis going nuts, right? So totally, I think it's really interesting. Like if you think about it, right? If it's an access pass, if the dunk is an access pass, the token is an access pass, right? It originates from a clone, right? So a clone has their own seat at the table to be able to forge all the colors and kind of have first pick. But also, what we've seen is that clones will go, and especially if they have multiple, they can go and give that to a family member or to a friend or to a neighbor who has never participated even in crypto or NFT or anything like that. And it's basically you're giving someone the VIP pass, and that's transferable, right? So a lot of times it's locked to an email account, or it's locked to some, or to your Nike account or whatever it is, and you can't just send that to somebody, right? But in this case, and then of course people are going to monetize it as well, which is a good opportunity. Is if it was locked to a clone, then you'd only be able to own you need to have a clone in order to have it. But it also gives clones an opportunity to say, you know what, I've got 20 passes, let me flip a couple of these guaranteed dubs to someone else, right? And so that changes the whole sneaker landscape in itself as well, because right now nobody can really sell you a guaranteed dub unless it's like backdoored or like through other kinds of means, where this is a completely recognized and legitimate transferable seat for a dub. And that could be a Christmas gift, that could be something you flip, that could be someone, the way you onboard somebody into their first pair of rare sneakers. So I think that's a really interesting part, because like for example in CS:GO and a lot of that stuff, you win a skin. How do they actually transfer the rights to that skin that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars, or to use it? They like sell the whole account. Like you basically are selling your whole, thing. Where here, this is something that you can transfer to somebody, and it leaves your account, it enters theirs account. Now I lose access to it, they have access to it. And it's truly like giving someone a key to a door. What's up? We got so many hands up. Just whoever speaks first got it.
Who other hand up? Only on my hand. Well, I would say this tokenized access, man. If we don't want to make it a artifact situation, it's about utilizing the technology to build the future, and the future is tokenized access when it comes to this. In conjunction with pre-orders. So people been in the sneaker game for a while. We remember Zade Kicks and the era that he created, and also he decimated in the same breath. But he was on to something early, man. Being able to buy as many as you want, sometimes at a discounted price, 6 to 8 months ahead, years ahead. Shit, I bought Chicago ones in 2016. Them joints ain't come out to 2021, and of course I didn't get them because he got the feds and all that good stuff. But the idea was there, and if we had that same situation available on a more legitimate platform for people to be able to see, because we said this, and I seen the homie Corey post about this. Is we understand what sneakers are coming a year in advance. Shit, we just watched the showcase on Snkrs yesterday, and then telling us what's happening in April of 2025. If I could, they should have it in a way, and this is just my opinion. Showcasing the sneakers, all right, cool. If you have the access to be able to see what's going on, you people can order whatever size you want, however quantity, or up to a certain amount of quantities to make it semi-fair, whatever size you want, on the sneaker showcase. Oh, you like these such and such, these Swarovski crystal sunset Air Max coming out for 2025 holiday? You can order a pair right now and lock it in. Right? Like that's how it's just the future behind it. And tokenized access, selling a membership pass to these Nike holders, or giving them loyalty points where they can have access to that pass because they spent up to a certain amount of dollars per year. You get to order this next sneaker for the next year, and then you gotta start it all over again. Next season, you gotta start all over again. So that's it's the technology is there, and we've seen these things happen in segmented ways for years now. It's just about picking up the pieces and making a collective picture out of all of that, and we can do it.
Now, you know something else I was looking at. I totally agree with you, bro. And maybe this is a little controversial, but we talk about, okay, the next thing that Artifact got to do is they got to do a pair of Jordans. You got a pair of Jordans. So there was a pair of Jordans, right, that recently came out, semi Web3 related, you could say. And I'm looking at them on StockX, and there are a pair of Jordan 3s that are in a green color with some orange, on them. And I'm looking at lowest ask, I'm seeing 254. And then now I'm looking at some dunks, and I'm seeing lowest ask for the voids is 500. Lowest ask for the OG color 675, Ghost 800. And so these are non Jordans, but we're pushing. We're like, do a Jordan, do a Jordan. That's really what's gonna. So what do you think is going on here, right? Because I mean, you would think that the Jordans being a more recognizable silhouette, right? Like I heard that argument or that approach to say, yeah, but we like the same sneakers that we always did from the 1980s, and you shouldn't mess around with silhouettes and whatnot. But now we have a traditional silhouette that's color blocked and has, an interesting take on the Nike symbol on the back. But for the most part, it's the same silhouette. And now you have a completely unique silhouette, and it's like double or triple the price, with like similar, kind of connection to Web3 or whatever. So, what's your thoughts on that? What's going on there? It doesn't make any sense, right?
Nah, Dutchie. Well, one thing you also want to consider is quantity, right? So, quantity is going to dictate price because with this we have voids at. Oh, my bad. I don't know off the top of my head. Kaz could probably jump in. How many quantities of the void there were? But versus the threes that dropped yesterday. I saw a lot of wins on those threes on the timeline. Luckily for me, I got a win as well. But I saw a lot of wins, and I saw some of those stock numbers. I saw somewhere around 60 to 70K. That's aside from the drop that they did on their own website, plus these other
Okay, that's a
tier
big
one
supply.
stores.
Yeah, I did not know it
Yeah,
was 60, 70K on those
yeah.
ones. So actually,
I,
if we want the numbers right now, I'll tell you the exact supplies of the dunks. We got 4 colorways. There's actually 6, but nobody's talking about that. But of those, the exact supplies is if you got the OG colorway, which is the silver and blue for those who people are not familiar with the lenticular, that one was token gated. You could not get it public sale. There's 6,841 pairs. And that was based off of demand. So it wasn't like set by the brand. It's as many people who pre-ordered. That was the locked supply. Then you have CloneX being the most rare color, the black and red, also lenticular, which sets those two apart and was also token gated, 5,849 pairs. And then you have the 2 general release pairs, which is Ghost, 8,461, and then Void being the most supply at 11,394. So just to simplify it, 7,000 OGs, 6,000 CloneX, 8,500 ghosts, and 11,000 voids. So that's roughly the supply. So I agree. Even the combined supply is not even half of what those Jordans were. If they were 60K, then this is like about 30K combined supply, plus the cat tongues, which I got to call out, which are 51 supply each. Which I haven't seen any traditional sneakerheads talking about that one, which has a unique material that's never been used on a Nike sneaker, or I think a sneaker at all. So today we had conversations about the Vanna Black being turned into a general release drop. So now you see we'll call it the Artifact R&D team at Nike working with another material that's unique, which is the cat tongue material. So who knows what we'll see in the future, but it's certainly at 51 each of a colorway. That's like insanely limited. So
Let's transition to that conversation too, right? And I brought this up before. When Nike sees certain designs catching on when it comes to the public, they end up creating their own silhouette utilizing those materials. And that's the same situation that happened with the Vanna Black Air Force Ones that we saw being presented on the sneaker showcase on the Sneakers app yesterday. I mean, we all know that that was something that was designed by the Artifact team in conjunction with Nike, of course, but it was called Black Hole Black for a reason. They started off with the Vanta Black colorway and they switched it up when Zap jumped on the sneaker showcase himself and started talking about the CloneX Air Force Ones and them creating this material that was the blackest black. Honestly, I'm kind of happy to see Nike come out with this Vanta Black Air Force One. It's because these CloneX Air Force Ones are some of the probably the dopest Air Force Ones ever to be created. You know what I mean? And it's I know that's highly coveted to even speak on it in that manner, right? But they were really that good, man. That colorway is crazy to even try to describe. So to be able to see it come out in another form and give it another shot for people to engage with it, I think it's a dope idea. But we just got to give credit where credit is due. If these people have been coming up with these materials that have never been used, like you said, the cat tongues, we see it happen with all the lenticularness, new word, that everything is being displayed and coming up with these other materials and other silhouettes. You got to give the flowers where they deserve, man. So it's gonna be dope. I'm excited for it.
oh man, yeah. I mean, I think that it's also interesting because it all leads back, right? It all leads back to the OG pairs there. So but yeah, it's dope to see. Obviously those are the pairs. Oh, there you go. You got somebody's on point right now. So you got the cat tongue samples. If you haven't seen them, they're pinned up top. They're given back to certain community members, and the material is literally like reminiscent of an actual cat's tongue. So if you look really closely, there's parts that are extruding from the material. So that means if you rub your finger on it, then you'll feel a depth to it, and and I haven't seen any sneakers like I can't even think of a single sneaker that I've seen with that material. So even if the Vanna Black is up for conversation, I don't think this one is. And everybody's been asking how do I get my hands on these, and it's like no, that's it. It's like 50 pairs each, and I can't think of many dunks. Of course, there's been some friends and family pieces and all that, but 50 per colorway is very, very, very limited. Like insane. I mean, yo, what's up, Frank? Welcome to the stage. Another, sneakerhead collecting every single week.
Yo, what's going on? Did you
Before
pass
Frank go,
memory? Did you
I'm
pass
about to say
memory
we
though?
gotta go to. Is Memory got his hand up, or is that just his icon?
Nah, he got his hand up, bro. He busted one. Go ahead, memory.
It's fine. I'm used to getting wrecked by y'all.
Bah, bro, come on now.
Where's Pepe with the soundboard, bro? You had to hit that like die emoji.
No, I wanted to go back to when we were talking about supply and access and whatnot. I think that one of Artifact's kind of struggles has been balance. Either it's overhyped or it's undercommunicated or whatever. And I think they really knocked it out of the park here because one of the other struggles is for any company is how do we make things exclusive to make our holders feel valued and like what they own is worthwhile, and then but also how do we bring in new people? And I think that they hit that balance just to perfection. With the addition of how do we also reward people that participated, and that's what the cat tongues were. So you had the exclusivity of the certain colorways coming from owning either the Dunk or the Clone NFT, or you have the general release of the Ghosts and the Voids. And I just thought that was like a really nice balance that they hit. They're like, this is a gen release. Clones also get this before everyone else if they're interested, but they get the ability to set the total supply number for these two colorways if you're exclusive to them, and then also be able to have access to
Well,
the gen releases. And I just thought that was chef's kiss. That was really
also,
good. So
let's
shout out
call
to
it
you
out for
on
what
that.
it is, right? Another thing is when you do these kinds of giveaways where you reward certain community members for participating, right? Now it becomes whale games, right? Where it's like, oh, this dude got X amount of pairs, so he must have got it, right? He must have got that limited to 50 pairs. And actually, if you look at the grid that they released of how they decided on who would get it, it wasn't necessarily like the top buyers like the way the first drop was with the artifacts. It was mainly like if you forged one of every color, then you had this opportunity at this pair. Where here they were rewarding specific members who may have not went in and got all the pairs and all that kind of stuff. Or I think even they had a category for people who didn't even buy a pair. I could be wrong about that, don't quote me. But I mean, you have to see the evolution in the feedback of them going, you know what, we don't want it to be whale games. It's just if you're tapped into this community, you could have the same chance. Where normally samples limited to 50, you got to be a celebrity, you got to be an influencer or something to get access to that from Nike. And so and these were free, by the way. Like, let's call that out too, right? It's not like, oh, you allow access to these 50 of 50 50 of each colorway. It's no, these are gifted free to you. So now you have like a piece of Nike history. And I'm not just saying it because it's artifact. I'm just saying any sneaker that's limited to 50 is is just about as scarce as it gets, right? So take us completely out of the picture, NFT, all that stuff. You still have a sneaker made of a material that's never been used before, limited to 50, and then just free. So I'd be interested to see once more sneakerheads start to figure out traditional ones, start to look into those pairs, the artifact which were limited to 40. Like, how do they feel about those pairs? But yeah, my bad. I just wanted to tap in on that because I know that a lot of people think that it was just like you gift it to the guy who bought the most dunks, and that was not the case for this one. And I thought that was very thoughtful from the team.
But that's also an important aspect too. Like, you want to keep the people that hold the most of your product like happy as well. But they, again, balance on balance. They balanced rewarding those whales and then also the people that just participated.
And if you fudded the brand, it still didn't matter because Chicago got a pair of the cat tongues. So we can't even say that. You can't even say golden boy favoritism on this one. I mean, you had people who was slamming the timeline hard and still got them, right? So, that's as non-biased as it gets. Just to turn around and catch so I really think that between that, the animus drop of how they rewarded, they found that balance again, right? They were like, okay, if you were a clone holder, you get this increased chance of getting a super rare, but then they also reserved special editions for people who didn't have any other assets but the egg. So they gave this equal chance for you to be able to hit the super rares, the Mirakamis, the everything, without having to be a whale, but also balancing out where the whales feel like, okay, I'm definitely gonna hit something dope as well, right? So you gotta give props where they're due here. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of thought, and some of those mechanisms is so complicated to carry out. I think that a lot of people don't realize, even from the engineering perspective, in terms of the randomization and all that stuff. And the way that this incubation stuff is going down, I don't want to go too much about it because this is more about the sneakers. But I do got to say is that if you look in the most recent efforts, the egg giveaway, the way that they did the statues, the collectibles through ARR, which does all the cause statues, like, people could only buy one, right? Didn't matter if you're a whale, you could only get one, and then you could get a rare or you could get, a common. But I mean, all of these are clear efforts from the brand to reward the whales, the regular community members who are just diehards. Like, there's a lot of consideration, and to architect that stuff is not easy, and it takes a lot of time.
Yo,
Shout out to the dev team.
I'm curious, man. I want to hear from the people who aren't necessarily a part of the community for real. I want to hear how they perceive and their experience, even if it's a limited one. Like, I'm very curious to hear
Well,
how
well,
people are
Dre,
perceiving
that
things.
that's kind of where I was gonna go with it. So, just to give a little backstory, I received my package about 45 minutes ago, and this is my first official artifact, like anything, like and this was different than any other shoe delivery I've ever experienced. And I don't know if this is, and so these are not the ones that I forged. I just got the ones I did an extra size 12 void. I was like, fuck it, let me get another one during the complex con order. So they just sent me one shoe, one box. But what's different about this one, even the UPS driver who came and delivered them, he even asked me, he's like, what's special about this one? And I said, well, what do you mean? He was like, look at it. It has fragile on the side, and I had to hand deliver it to you instead of just leaving it at your door. Like, he literally opened the door and asked for me. So, like, I don't know if that was part of the delivery, but it was weird, dude. The box was special. Like, it was double ply. I don't know, dude. Like, it was specially taped, fragile stamped. Like, I've never experienced. This is the shipping box, guys. So that's luxury at its finest, and that's just me as
White
a
glove,
consumer. As
the
a
white
consumer,
glove experience.
yeah, as a consumer of many, many fucking shoes, I've never, ever, ever experienced that. So that's all I got to say.
And
I
if
haven't
any of
even.
us,
Well, I was gonna finish. I haven't even opened it yet because I'm waiting for my kids and my son because they want to be a part of it. So anybody who's asked, have you opened it? Not yet. It's just one void. But I'm excited, bro. I can't wait. Just waiting for the fam.
That's fire, man. Congratulations, bro. We need um a frank review of it. You know what I mean? Like the fit, pause, the material. Because you a SB
Bro,
dude. You are.
the if the outer box literally has me like that, like, come on, dude. This is like, it was weird, dude. Like, he came, rang the doorbell. I was like, yo, what? And then I see him, like, I'm like, it's the UPS driver holding it fragile with like the little, like, it's stamped on the side. I'm like, yo, this is
How many
insane.
sneakers you got, Frank? What you think? Just estimate, ballpark me.
Right now, I'm probably down to about 165,
Ah,
200.
down.
Yeah, dude, and that's because of crypto. Like, no shit. Like, crypto has made me focus my money in what I have invested in things that are stagnant, and so I'm like letting go of some passionate sneakers, but investing it in the right. So, like, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm down there, and I think I still have about another 100 pair I really need to sell. Like, I'm gonna be honest, between you guys and everybody, that's just I'm getting to the age like I really don't need a whole room of shoes. So,
But his
um,
name is Nike SB Collector. Let it be known that that's his literal Twitter handle. So
Yo,
you know, if you want to know,
165 sound like he living up to the
Well,
name, bro. He said, I'm
well.
down. I
This
feel
is the
naked
thing.
with
This is
165.
the thing. Like, I got two GRs this month at SBs. They're not hyped. You could probably buy them under retail right now on StockX. But I just cannot say no. Like, an opportunity. Like, yeah, you want that? I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead. Just save me. You know what I mean? It's just one of those scenarios where I'm like, well, do I fucking need it? No. But it just when it's there, I just don't say no. Right. So, anyways, but bro,
It
I
don't
can't
ever
wait.
go
I
away,
can't wait
bro.
for these, dude. I can't wait for to open this box. And then yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna have some content. I hate
It
Twitter
don't.
though. The video and the pictures don't do justice. Yeah, that needs to change, bro.
It won't ever go away. Every time you see a shoe drop, to this day, I know a shoe drop. I'll shoot just to shoot, even though I'm not even really truly aiming at it. Like the Nina Chanel threes, I really liked them. Did I like them enough to really buy them? Not for real.
But
But did
bro,
I
is
shoot
that
at
the
them? Yeah.
sneakers effect? Is that the sneakers app effect? That why we shoot just to shoot, even though we
Yeah,
know like 90% we ain't gonna come out with anything. We still shoot, like
of
just to.
course. Of course. I
Bro,
mean, but if we wasn't part of the game, we wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like
so you're saying you shooting for no reason,
I'm
knowing
shooting
that
just
your
to. I'm
opportunity of
shooting
landing is
blanks.
very, yeah, is very,
I'm
very
I'm
slim.
the I'm the old head in the club looking at the young girls. No, I ain't got no chance. But yo, what's up, baby? Let me pay a bill for you. That's me. And that's how it
All
always
right, so
gonna
I
be.
gotta ask you, Dre, what sizes did you try today, and how many accounts?
I had um I had two phones and I had four phones, four different accounts. Tried for two size 14s, a 15, and like a random 6.5.
Why? Why?
Cause
Like,
man, cause
why?
I love the
Bro,
hustle.
I tried 10, 10 and a half, and like the most, like I saw the most numbers on that size, and I said, well, that's my best chance. 10, 10 and a half, let's fucking go. And I still took
It,
L.
I mean, because I know it was only like 17 size, seven size 15s and like 35 size 14s, but it's like when you hit that with such dire chances, it's even sweeter. Like the berry is even blacker, so the juice is even sweeter. I just love the game, man. I love the
Bro,
So
hustle.
when the blank
pause.
becomes full,
I love the hustle, man. It's just it's part of who. That's what I'm saying, man. In the
Yo,
club, let me pay a bill, baby. What's up?
I wanna I noticed a couple people who are just added to the stage, and I don't recognize Stab, so I do want to give him an opportunity to speak. If you want to go ahead and drop some, what was your thoughts today on
Oh, thank you,
L
man,
or
for letting
L
me
or
get a
Dub?
microphone, man. I really
Go,
appreciate it.
go. Tell me about yourself, L or Dub. What's your thoughts? What brings you here?
Hey, yo, add
Shit,
me
I
a
just
co-host, man.
honestly joined because I thought they were giving out cash in here. Somebody said they were giving out cash in here, so that's the only reason I joined.
Nah, I'm not cash. They said ass, man. You in the wrong
Oh, they
room,
giving
bro.
out ass. Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I kind of figured that when they were saying all that gay stuff and they didn't say no Diddy
say
after it.
you in
what?
the wrong room, bro. You in the wrong room.
Wait, how am I in the wrong room? You said they giving out ass. Who giving
Nah,
out
What
man.
ass?
what
No,
are we do? What are
no.
we doing, Dre? We buying right now? Like at these prices, bro? They're like around 500. Is that a good buy entry?
Yeah,
Nah,
that's a
man.
great buy entry for some ass.
Nah. That's even too much for the ass, man. You gotta wait for discount. You need
500, that's decent for a nice piece of
you
ass.
need coochie coupons only, man. Coochie coupons only. No, that's I
You,
think it's too
hey,
much,
if
man.
if the coochie got a coupon, I don't want it.
I do 2 for 1. What do you say?
Yeah, and that's why
No, but
you
I'm
you gonna wake up in the morning scratching and burning.
hey, they got mints for that, bro.
Stab,
This
I'm
man
we
just
going
has
off
saying.
the rails.
experience.
Stab, we going off the rails right now. We're going off the rails. Do you even know what the space is about? I'm just curious.
I'm guessing it's about shoes. I like shoes.
You like ass?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like ass
I was
too.
waiting for that one.
It's about shoes, am I right?
Yeah, you are right. There was a drop today that we're discussing.
Oh, what was the drop?
It is the artifact dunks, and basically you had two sort of audiences, right? If I don't know if you know about the NFT or Web3 crypto space, but basically you had people who had sort of got exclusive access to it, who could pre-order it in November, and then today 1,000 pairs went up,
Can
where
I get
you
a picture of the shoe? What does the shoe look like?
somebody could pin it to the top. Somebody pin it. There's actually quite a few pinned tweets up here, but yeah, if someone wants to
Yeah, I
repin
see
it,
some up there, but I don't know. I don't think any of those are the shoes, are
No,
they?
all of them, all those are the shoes.
Wait, those like pink ones and blue ones, those are the shoes?
Those are different colorways. So the further you go down, eventually you'll get to like the kind of like silver with the blue, light blue swoosh. That's the OG
Oh,
one.
those
And so
kind
they
of
have like,
decent. They all right.
yeah, they're pretty cool. The coolest
Yeah, they
part
cool.
is that they have these attachment parts. At least my favorite part as a creator is like they have these 3D modular attachments that you can 3D print your own attachments to these things. So you can,
What?
yeah, so you can create your own attachments for them. So for instance,
Yeah, like
actually,
a knife, a gun, a dynamite, even.
So
exactly.
you can make your own shoe with that shoe.
Literally.
Oh, that's kind of cool. How
Yeah.
much were they going for?
The retail was 222. I think the like on the secondary market, it's anywhere from 500
I
to
was
I've
just about to
seen.
say it's probably like 500-600. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm actually
And
doing a
then,
giveaway for an attachment. I just pinned it to the top too. So if people want to get a new attachment for their new dunks, I'm doing my first giveaway of like a 3D printed mod that I created called goated. It's like some goat horns. So it's like you know, there's a lot of cool things you can do as a creator that otherwise would have been gate kept, like doing something like this. So I think there's a lot of potential.
I don't know, man. I'm not a big like dunk person, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to offend y'all. I guess this a dunk space, but like, yeah, I
It's
don't
all
know.
good, bro.
I don't know. They are. I feel like they cool for like people with little feet. Like I don't know. I don't think I could wear 'em. Like I like
Yeah,
my
you got
girl.
that,
She look good in dunks, but like me putting on some dunks, like, and I ain't got the biggest foot, but like I don't know. They just look whack.
Hey man, sometimes it's not the shoes, it's not the shoes that you wear, it's how you rock them. Like for some people,
No,
it
I'm
might be
just like
that.
a big Jordan person. Like I just
Yeah, I
like
love
Jordans.
Jordans.
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
taking Jordans over Dunks any day.
I'm probably with you on that, honestly, for most times. But I definitely see these as ones that are going to have special occasions, especially like I said, like as an artist, like as I create different attachments for them.
Mhm.
Maybe like there'll be a special occasion like that. You never know, man. Like what kind of creative ideas might come along. It's just a new avenue to express yourself.
Yeah, so what? Can you put like a dick on there or some shit?
Absolutely, dude. You could put some
Wow,
freaking
that's
titties
fucking
on there, bro.
that's lit. So you
You
put
could
like
put, dude. You
boobs
could
on there and
literally make
shit?
put lactating titties on each one of your. Like you could
He
literally.
said,
Damn.
absolutely.
That's lit. I want a
What do you
Glock
think,
on
Shaggy?
mine.
That's a
Put like a
giveaway.
Glock with a 30 on there. That's hard. Ooh, a Glock 30 pair of dunks? Now that's hard. See,
Or
I'm
a
giving y'all
holster,
ideas, man. Don't run off with my shit.
It's a
or like
rap.
a
Stab
holster.
this up. Hey, get that ready. Get that Glock ready.
Yeah, it's always the black people.
She was an artist, man. You know what I mean? You're still first. Think about it later.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point like that. I like that. So, man, why y'all so quiet?
Yo, Stab, real quick question though. If you, what's your favorite Jordan that's recently released? Like,
Recently released? Damn, a lot of the Jordans and shit were kind of trash. I don't know. I
agreed.
kind of like them taxis though that just came out. I mean, they ain't the OGs, but they decent. Like if you need a fresh pair, like some white and black shoes.
What's your grails? What's your grails like that you have or don't have? What's your the pairs you wanted the most?
What pairs I want the most this year?
Not in general, ever. Like
Oh,
your
in
grails.
general, I mean, I done had them. I just re-need them. Oh, I probably would definitely want those Bread 13s again. The Gammas. I can't wait for those Gammas to come back out. The Bread 13s.
So if you
Hmm.
could buy like if you could buy a pass, right? Like for like $500, $600, that guarantees you the future releases, like where in your size, like where you could just guarantee it, and multiple pairs too, if you wanted to. Would you
Hmm.
buy it?
For $500?
500, 600, yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a lick. What you mean?
So that's pretty much what this Dunk NFT was. You could have. There was a point where it was worth about that much. If you would have bought it, you
Oh
could
yeah,
have
if you
bought up.
guaranteed to get your, so like how many shoes like forever or is it like a limit? Like
I got 7 pairs with the one NFT. It was like $400, $500 I paid for it.
seven
If you have
pairs?
these clones that you see like a lot of us rocking as our PFPs, those
Uh,
guarantee you access like for all of the drops pretty much. And then
what
like
on the
from
sneakers app?
yeah. Well, no, for
You fucking
specifically
kidding me?
no, not for the sneakers app, for
No, you would get it
specifically
before.
artifacts.
You would get it before the sneakers app even gets it.
Yeah,
You would just have
exactly.
like a exclusive access type thing.
Damn, for real, that's lit. Damn, put me on something I don't know.
Bro, I mean, welcome. Like this is definitely like a kind of emerging thing, so you're definitely
Yeah, I
not
don't know
really.
how I got in here. I just seen a space open. I ain't gonna
You've
lie to
been
y'all.
looking for
Yeah,
ass
I
when you
see.
came in.
You know, I see y'all got like y'all little group pictures in here, and everybody got like y'all little whole little swag going. I ain't gonna lie to y'all though. I'm really a troll. I was gonna come in here trolling, but y'all some good people, so I'ma just go with the topic, bro. I ain't gonna lie, cause I was about to come in here and say some crazy stuff, man. If y'all don't,
We
if
spiked
anybody
his
in
Hey,
here
bro,
don't
you
know
interest.
gotta.
me, I don't know if anybody in here know me, but I was gonna come in here and say some crazy things. But
Oh,
shit,
Stab, I
I
know you.
like
I seen you
shoes,
around a
man.
few times.
You
Yeah, you
definitely did
probably
ask about
have.
a
You
You
dick
say
probably see
on
me
you
get
say
kicked
some
right out.
wild stuff, but I mean, some of it's poetry to me.
Yeah, it's
It's
man. I'm
not all
telling you,
bad.
you know, people don't like the real. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really be. People don't like real. You know, real ain't real no more. You know what I'm saying? It's all an illusion.
So yeah, you can't. You was coming in here talking crazy, then we started talking crazy, talking about
He's
you
been
could
kicked out of
pre-order,
every.
talk, talking about you could pre-order your Jordans. That's crazy. Yeah, we crazy in here.
Yeah, that's crazy. For 500, I'm about it. Yeah, because I'm getting tired of my homies telling me, go on the app and do that little raffle stuff. And then, like, when the shoe come out, I don't get picked. So my heart be kind of hurt. Now I got to go to one of these third-party apps and go to fucking paying $500 more. Like, man, that shit whack. Then I don't, bro, I got so many shoes, I don't even wear none of them.
So you barefoot right now or what?
No, I actually got on some some what would I call these? I got on some Granddad Olympic 3 slides on right now, like I'm about to barbecue.
Nah, not the
Like my
shufflers.
toes
Them,
out.
them-
You know? I got on that right now. Yeah. I ain't that cool.
Hey, bro, I'm rocking some Nike slides that don't fit
Oh,
right.
not
I
the
probably need
knockoff
to.
Yeezy ones. I hope not those. For the love of
Nah,
God, not
nah.
those.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give a take that most people probably don't agree with, but man, a lot of the foam runners, bro, them in the trash. Those all like anything past like the turtle does like the 350s. Like I really wasn't with
Wait, so
a
you
lot
ain't
of that.
fucking with the slides?
Bruh, most of them just look like cartoon drawings, dude. It's like,
But the
hey, look.
slides though. The slides. Hey,
Nah.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel disrespected because I just spent like $80. I just got picked for some on Confirm the other day. So I just spent my money on them and you sit here talking about some they not it.
Hey, that's all you.
Sorry.
I appreciate it. I
I
appreciate
love
all
slides.
sides
You
of
just
fashion.
hurt my heart with that one.
He said they was cartoon sneaks, man. That's fucked up.
Man, have you ever had on a pair of them? They so comfortable.
They are. They do. They feel good, but they do.
They
They look
better be.
bad, man. They do look bad. They're
Now
not
the
the
foam runners,
most
I don't really care for
serious.
those foam
They
runners.
better
Yeah,
Yeah,
be.
that's
yeah.
another shoe I feel like is a piece of shit. Like I
No,
don't like
yeah.
that shit.
They do. Yeah, they got the defecation resemblance for sure. The dusty
Yeah,
gray.
I feel
You know
like
what I mean?
people with big feet shouldn't be wearing shoes like that.
Whoa, hold
Dunks.
on, whoa, Staff. Hold on,
Uh,
hold
yeah, if
on.
you wearing like a size 13, 14, I heard
Oh,
somebody in here
Staff,
say
come
that.
on, bro,
I
See,
feel like
bro.
see,
you should not wear
CJ.
dunks.
Come on,
Cause
man. Come on.
I'm the
Whoa,
guy looking at you when you outside with them on. I'm looking like, man, this nigga got them shoes looking like pizza puffs or Gershers or something.
what we supposed
Like
to
you look like
wear,
you
bro?
finna bust out them motherfuckers. They is
What am I
too
supposed to
big,
do?
too long. They looking like damn foot longs from Subway.
Oh,
I would
Staff.
not have those on with a big ass foot.
Come on, man. Come on, man. What I'm supposed to do, man?
Yeah,
What
Yeah, you
Dre
got to
has
leave
a
Dre Millie alone, man. Come on.
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm supposed to wear,
He
Staff?
said
Give
Subway
me a sneaker.
sucks.
Stab.
What I'm
Dre
supposed to
has like a
wear?
size 84 size shoe. You know what I mean? So
You
you
said
gotta
he wears size 8,
84. Like
84.
yeah,
What's
something
that
like that.
designer?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
No. I don't know
You
what
know,
size, but
designer going 84 and all them
it's
numbers.
custom made. Is
Oh, what?
Absolutely. Nah, man. I'm wearing 14, 15. Give me a sneaker that look good in 14, 15 style.
Shit, I don't even know, man. Them shoes
Man.
gonna look bad. 14, 15. I just thank the Lord he didn't give me big ass feet like that, boy.
It come with a package, man. So
Hey,
you be
you ain't
happy
gotta
about that,
tell me
Lord. Thing,
that.
you know
You
what I mean?
ain't gotta tell me that.
I'm
I
just
don't know
saying,
why
bro.
you wanna announce
I'm
that
just
to me
saying,
and
Mr.
tell
Stab.
me that.
You shooting,
Like,
man. You gotta let you
it's
know
a room full of
we
men in here.
representing here, man. You know what I mean? You
It's a
gotta
room full of
represent.
men in here. Why are we talking about that?
But I'm letting you know, man.
You where
Don't
you at? What you wanna
don't doubt
fuck or
it.
something?
Don't no, man. No, bro. You going way too far with it now.
Well,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think you going too far by saying it comes with an extra package. Now
I'm
that's
just
a
saying
whole lot of Diddy right there.
you gotta know who you talking to, man, and what we doing around
I
here.
don't
But I'm
want to
saying,
know who I'm talking
eh,
to.
well,
Shit,
you gotta recognize
I'm
something,
just
bro.
talking to
Tell me
my
I need
phone
to
at
be
this
wearing
point, and it's a bunch
footlongs.
of people
What am
talking
I
back.
supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Stab bread? You want me to put them in literal bread out here? You
fit tighter than these fit. These fit just like it's like a true. For me, it's like it's true to size, as true as you can get. Whereas the other dunks that I had on feel a little tight, like always a little tight. I there's not like a half size for 12, 12 and a half, so I go 13, 12 or 13, and so it's like 13's a little too roomy, 12 is a little too tight. So I don't know if you guys can hear my daughter in the background, but she's going ape shit.
Nah, she all good. So hey,
She
welcome to the
said,
family.
"Open
You do
the
the same thing.
door."
Like
Let
open
me
this fucking
in.
door.
That's,
She ain't
nah,
interested in nothing until she hears me talking.
that's how it worked, man. 3 years old. That's the whole plan. But no, I
Yeah,
agree. But the same sizing with me with SBs, like a 14 for me. I'm a true 14. I'm like a 14 and a half. So the 14s are kind of tight, but the 15s feel kind of roomy. So it's good to hear
yeah,
that. I'm glad you can put it in that comparison.
yeah. but they're crazy. It's a great
Hey,
shoe.
Aunt Ben, bro, what size shoe are you? Cause I saw some pictures with the heel mod where the swoosh was going into and behind the mod, but like the blade wasn't. So I was trying to figure out like what size shoe the heel mod actually covers both of the tails. Since you have them in hand, do you see that it covers one side only, or is it like about even?
It doesn't cover, at least not on this size. It's yeah, it lines up actually perfectly. Now that I think about that, yeah, it might change for different sizes, but I don't know. It looks pretty good. I mean, it lines up great on these.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, either way, right? You could always, like you said, get a different mod and do that if you need to. But I was just wondering. I'm still waiting for them, but I'm super excited, man. Especially those pictures of the OG that David just dropped, man. Those are gorgeous.
David killed it on those. I mean, those look surreal. Appreciate you giving us the insight, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that true to size. I was a little bit concerned about it too. I see somebody, Jillaman. What's going on? I think we just add you as a speaker. What's your thoughts, man? Did you try to catch these, L or Dub?
Yeah, I tried. I got an L on try for him, but with less than 1,000 pairs, it was kind of pretty much almost close to impossible.
And what
But
what 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 made you want to get those? Was it the limited supply? Have you heard about them? Do you know anything about it, or it's just like I don't know
well,
what you want to get them for? Just curious.
I'm into the sneaker game. I like sneakers, man, and I think that Nike did their thing with these, man. I think it's a new wave and a new look to the future. I believe that Nike has a lot in store. And I'm thinking that all of the shoes are gonna start to kind of drift and go in this direction with the futuristic look.
So, and aside from like the look, because I appreciate what you're saying, and not everybody's gonna feel that way. You know, a lot of traditional sneakerheads may want the classic look, right? But aside from the look of it, did you know anything else, like additional things about this pair in particular, or you just like you saw it somewhere, like just curious because there's some extra features to it, and I wasn't sure if you had heard about the other things that it has.
Well, I follow a lot of the digital collectors, and I know that it had a lot to do with the digital industry or whatever. So, that was another thing that kind of got my attention on the shoes.
Right?
I'm not, I'm not pretty familiar with the RTFKT, but
Artifact, artifact. Like like a.
okay,
There
artifact.
you go. It's a
Okay,
lot easier
yeah.
to say that
I'm
way.
not familiar with that, but I know that it had a lot to do with the digital industry and Nike doing the swoosh, the digital thing with the swoosh and everything like that because I signed up for the swoosh account and I actually hit on some digital sneakers, but I kind of wanted these dunks.
Got you. So let me maybe break down a couple of the pieces for you, and then maybe I'll get your reaction to it.
Okay.
So and like there's a few aspects to it, right? So just the just today's release, right? So there's actually 4 colorways of this dunk, but there's only one that went to Sneakers app, and it was 1,000 pairs, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that was the void. Yes.
right, that's the void. Now, one of the things that it does have in the sneaker is an NFC chip that you can basically scan it with your phone. If you've ever used like Apple Pay at the grocery store or something like that, you
Mm-hmm.
have that
Mm-hmm.
wireless connection. So it allows you to claim a digital item from the shoe when you scan it, and that acts as a authenticity check, basically like a certificate of authenticity, where you could connect it, say that you were the owner, and it connects with the Nike systems to make sure that it's a real sneaker. That's one. Two, you got the mods that are removable, so you can take off the piece on the tongue. You can take off the piece on the heels. Some people want that slimmer look. Um, and they
Okay.
also gave like this opportunity where they give you the files. And as an entrepreneur, if you wanted to go and design your own attachment for those sneakers, there's like a commercial right that allows you to sell pieces that will attach to those dunks. So the heel, the thing where the laces go, the eyelets,
Mm-hmm.
and the tongue, that's completely removable. So people are using 3D printers and making their own attachables, screens, all types of crazy stuff. And then the other piece about it is, I think the big part is that it was like you mentioned, the digital collectibles. So they had a Dunk NFT, and basically if you had it, you could get all 4 colorways. You could choose it in your size. You had like 2 months to select whatever you wanted. You could get multiple pairs, and anybody could get as many as they wanted, and that's what set the total supply. So those were actually set at 11,000, but 1,000 went to Sneakers of that 11,000. So 10,000 people were actually receiving their boxes today or even yesterday of these sneakers, and then they put 1,000 of them to be regular checkout. So
On
basically,
sneakers to allocate on
but they
sneakers.
got them
Okay.
from they paid in November, so it was a 6 month wait. We watched them come to life and be built. Even some people gave feedback on them. They adjusted the design, etc., and then they got made. And so now, if you look up on StockX, you put in Artifact, they've done Air Force Ones that have the chip in it, with
Mm-hmm.
Murakami and all that stuff. But that's basically the big deal, is that um, basically everybody got a guaranteed dub. Uh, and then today, 1,000 pieces went out, and like you said, it was impossible. Most people caught an L on those. So it's just kind of like the old school. Well, Sneakers app is futuristic, you know what I mean,
Right.
already. But
Right.
this is the maybe the new technology, like you were saying, the digital stuff, and where it's a new way. Nike's never done a pre-order like this before, so that's kind of the different approaches. So that's why we're trying to get a idea of how people
I
were
think
feeling about these.
I think it's a look to the future. I think pretty much soon and coming that, you know, guys are gonna be able to create and design their own sneakers. I think this is opening the door for that.
Totally. Yo, I agree with you. And I think that
You know.
like the other guy was saying up on stage, he was saying that he likes to wear half, take the tongue mod off, leave the heel one on. I seen somebody print like actually a jeweler, and they made a gold insert that was actually solid.
Oh,
Well,
nice,
and they popped it in
nice,
the tongue, you know what I mean? And it was a gold
nice.
casted piece.
I saw because I'm really acquainted with Do It Big Chicago. I don't know
Yeah,
if you're
he
familiar with
got he
him.
got 300 pairs of these dunks on pre-order.
Right. Right. I'm acquainted with him and I saw that he posted it and I was just like, wow, okay. You know, I thought he got out the shoe game a while ago, but I guess certain shoes kind of brought him back in.
So it,
Never truly out the game, man.
You said never truly out the game,
Never
huh?
truly out the game. I see your timeline. I see you. You got the Tiffany SBs, the trophy. I see you doing your thing out here. So it's dope to see you as a
Well,
sneakerhead to come through.
I'm I grew up with Michael Jordan's nephew and son. We grew up together and we come from the same neighborhood. So pretty much like a lot of the sneakers that I want, I just hit him and they getting sent to me.
So he's the plug. So let me ask you. So what do you think about this idea, right? That people were able to get these sneaker passes, right? This digital item, and it's a guaranteed
Hmm.
dub, and people became their own plugs. So you're used to having to contact the plug to get it, but theoretically, if in November you had this, you could have put on other people, and you would have been the plug for these. While people are catching L's, you could have either flipped the guaranteed dub or just put on your family members and friends. Like, what do you think about that? The idea of transferring some like that opportunity to somebody, like a VIP pass to somebody else, so they could for sure get it. Where here you don't have to hit up a famous influencer or sneakerhead to be able to get access to this kicks. It's going to regular people so they could become the plug.
I think that it was an epic fail to me personally because being able to pre-order as many pairs as you want in different colorways. I mean, we all know the industry with Nike and limited quantity. So a lot of people chose to resell. A lot of people that wanted to make money basically off the shoe and didn't want the shoe for the love of the game and actually wear the shoes. So I believe that that was a fail on Nike's part. And in the future that they could do better as far as, allocating the shoes.
So how do you think it should be allocated? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you like the way that things are currently allocated? Like, in terms of if you, because basically in terms of limited supply, the voids they've got 11,000, and then the other pairs got about 8,000 and 5,000 is roughly the numbers. So those
Mhm.
is really
Mhm.
very limited in terms of, like, for example, the Futuras was 30,000, right? So basically across
Right.
all these colorways, even if you get all of these, it's still less than that one drop. Or the Jordan 4, the Jordan 3s that came out was a 60,000 supply. So here you're talking about
Right.
5,000 supply, 8,000 supply, and 11,000 being the most, which was the voids that you saw today.
I mean, I think that they should have did one per person. Maybe do contests. Who can create the best shoe or something like that to allocate the shoes versus saying, hey, we're gonna put them on there for pre-order and you guys can just go crazy on them. I think I heard someone in here earlier say, hey, I just got a extra size 12 just to get it. I was able to get as many as pairs as I want, so I got an extra size 12.
Yeah,
That knocked out a person that really wanted the shoe that could have had the shoe.
yeah, that was the misinformation. You was able to get 5 per NFT, so somebody threw that out there. I heard that too. You
Okay.
wasn't you
Okay.
wasn't able to just go wild and get like 30 pair per, but you was able to get 5 per NFT that you held, and then if you held the clones, you get 2 of the clone colorways. So it was a max of 5 per Dunk NFT. It wasn't like a go crazy 100 pair off of one. You had to buy multiple NFTs to get up to that quantity.
And the supply of those NFTs have a limited supply. So it's not like it was unlimited the amount of NFTs. There was basically a set supply. And then, like, they're saying it's like 5 per, which is across all colorways. And so obviously if you get that, that goes into that. But there was a max cap for sure on the amount of NFTs, and there can't be more made of it, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and we should add too that even driving the limited amount per colorway, so like the OG, so the silver and blue, that one could only be purchased. You can only buy one per NFT, right? And you had to have the Dunk NFT to buy that one. So if you wanted more of those, you had to pick up multiple passes, multiple digital collectible, in order to do that. So they balanced out um, the option to get more if you had the money and you wanted to spend more and get a lot more because either you're a reseller or you want to rock one and stock one. They went that route, but also protected against the just call it like inflationary buy all that you can do and flood the market in the process. And you got to remember that as a result of the approach here, again, you can authenticate these shoes, right? So you're not going to end up with just crazy amount of supply out there, not necessarily knowing who owns them, this, that, and the other. So I get what you're saying from the standpoint of like, not putting too much out there and ensuring that people who want them can get them. So they did that, but also made it a way for those who want to resell, who are about that life, to kind of create that market for those guys too.
Oh, and check out Jilla. Check out the pinned tweet. It's basically the chart that shows how many people were able to get and which colorway based off of it. So they had a complex con, one that you could access, and it shows how much per colorway and which NFT you had to have in order to get it. So that's just pinned to the top if you want to check that out. That's how it worked
Okay, I
back in
see it. I
November.
see it.
And the only
I see
thing,
it.
Jilla, the only thing up top that this is missing is the ghost color wave. That was like a last minute type of thing. So people were also able to get, I think, 2 at Complex Con per person if they wanted to on the ghost color wave. But that's not on the chart. But that's another extra 2 pair that you could have got for any one of these up top.
I forgot about the OG being
I mean,
like this.
I really truly think that it's a nice sneaker, man, and Nike did their thing with it. I just wish that they would have made more to feed the streets. But man, it's a new way, man, and it's a good look into the future. I think Nike has a lot in store for us, and this is just the beginning.
I'm loving that take. I appreciate
Facts.
you, Jilla. Yo, really like
Gotta
your
feed the
perspective, bro.
streets. Yo, it's crazy to talk about this OG, man, because these joints are really that rare, man. It was tough trying to get them. Had to be an artifact dunk Genesis holder to even grab them. You're going to get one of them. This is going to pan out kind of crazy and down the timeline, down the way things go. This is nuts. I completely forgot.
Yeah. I was gonna ask Ant-Ben if he got a size 12.5 because he said he's one of those people, because I had to do the same. The OGs, I doubled up on them, one in 13, one in 12.5, just in case, make sure the size is right.
Same.
Hey, Jilla, check out the pinned tweet at the top. We just showed all
Unfair.
the colorways is there, and then you have on the left side you have the mods on, right side mods off. So you see
My
all of
God.
them on
Yeah,
there.
I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. So which pair was the OG, the bottom?
No, it's
The
the second one
silver.
at the top
The second one?
from the
Okay.
top. Yeah.
Okay.
They literally called OG, and those are the ones that started it all, and then all the colors came after it, and the digital collectible was of that OG colorway. And actually, if you see, like, some of us have the avatars as the profile picture, like that's part of the
Hmm.
storyline. Like they're like in a world, and the characters is wearing those Nikes, and like there's like an animated kind of aspect to it to see a storyline around those sneakers. So those are like the OG that gave you access to the other colorways and all that stuff.
Okay. Now, which pair was the controversy on when they said it's gonna be called Void, but then it was another name for the red or something like
Oh, so
something.
what happened was the name of the shoe. Okay, because you have to imagine people pre-ordered, right? So they're waiting on their
Uh-huh.
sneaker, and then what happened was, they get those leaks early. So what happened was there was something that had came across that there was a new shoe, a new artifact dunk that was going to be called Wildberry. Okay, and
Wildberry,
so
that's what it was.
what the void is the wild berry, because when you look at the name of the shoe, always you have the name of the color underneath it, right? So it'll say jet black or whatever, royal
Hmm.
blue.
Yeah.
And so the name of it was Wildberry, and it got misconstrued in that leak that the name of these shoes was Wildberry. So then people were like, it was leaking in the news that there was another pair coming. So people felt like, hey, how come I didn't know about this, etc. But it was really just the voids. And then the other news
Okay.
leaked that it was $150. So people who paid $222, they felt like, hold up, wait, they're gonna drop a new colorway on sneakers. It's gonna be $150 and it's called Wildberry. What's going on? But that was misinformation because they were $222.
they're not the wild berries, they're the voids, but the voids are wild berry purple, and that's kind of what happened there.
Okay, okay, okay.
So really, it's
It's crazy,
controversy
man,
about nothing,
because
really, if you think about it.
222 is like a iconic number. My wife's mother stayed in the house and the address was 222. We see that number all the time everywhere, like literally in our dreams, like license plates. That number just comes up so many times. And I thought that by these pairs being $222, I was for sure to hit and didn't.
Ah man, well we really hope that you get lucky and you get them from the plug. Or you said that you already got a plug on them, so maybe you could hit them up.
Well, nah, my plug is really, like I said, when it comes to Jordans, like I said, I grew up with them. I got a chance to actually, go to the house here in Chicago and play basketball in the gym and in the house or whatever, etc. So my plug is pretty much like whatever trophy room gets or, a Jordan that comes out. If I want it and I didn't get it or didn't have a way to get it, I just call him and, I'm
W.
for sure to get it. I don't like abuse my privileges because
Jilla,
I
all the
grew up
plugs
with
are
them, so
right
I
here.
don't take it for granted.
Anybody who got one of these PFPs, these clones on your profile picture, they all got pairs. Don't believe them, Jilla. They got all the pairs. Make
You
sure
said who?
everybody in this chat who got the little cartoon character as
Oh,
their
okay.
profile picture, including myself, we all got these pairs. So just make sure you link up with somebody in here and get yourself a pair, man. All the plugs are right here.
All right, well, definitely, Will. I appreciate that. I'm following you right now as we speak. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely look, man. But the only one in Chicago that I know about that had pairs was Do It Big Chicago. Me and him did an actual deal with Marcus on the trophy rooms. I don't know if he told you guys that,
Oh
but
yeah, he told us.
I was the one that actually put him in tune with that deal. So I'll give him a call and
The
see if
plug, Jilla. Okay, you showing us who you
yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah, I was the one that put that together, So yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of backstory to it. I still call him to this day, Do It Big Chicago Al, but I call him to this day, and anytime they come out with a special shoe or something like that, trophy rooms or whatever, I call him and say, hey, look, we can get this many pairs and that. And that's why I thought he was out the game because he was like, it's just not any money in it. We can't make enough off of it. So, I'll have to pass like every time. But I see this shoe got him back into the game. So big up to Artifact.
Hey, Jilla,
Big up to
I'm in your
Artifact.
DMs right now, bro. You know what I mean? If he gonna pass up on the slide through, I'm coming
You
for you
won't.
on the drive through.
Oh,
You feel me?
definitely. Definitely. Kari knows me. Me and Kari, we talk a lot and Kari, he knows how plugged I am. I didn't show him conversations with Marcus, etc. So, he pretty much know too. Kari and Unbreakable Kicks. Actually, I'm the one that started Unbreakable Kicks into the sneaker game. He his channel was plain and regular, and I was getting all the shipments in from Jordan Brand, the friends and family boxes, and I would take him to his house and let him do videos with him when he was in his basement. And I
Ah.
actually got him as big as he is now with the early reviews because of me. So
Yeah, you gave him the
yeah,
sauce.
yeah,
Jilla, I just gave you
yeah,
a follow. Fuck the bullshit.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
passing on
you
that.
can.
I'm there.
Hey,
I'm there.
you can ask them about me. Ask Unbreakable Kicks about JT, and he'll tell you, "Oh man, that's my bro." Like, yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, man, I love the artifact shoe, man. And I wish, like I said, I wish I was able to get my hands on a pair. Like I said, this is only the beginning, I think, for Nike, and I think it's gonna be a lot to come from it with this shoe.
Hey Jilla, I did pin at the top a couple of videos that I made talking about Artifact, Nike, the acquisition, where they are, and what's
Okay.
all about the ecosystem. So for you or anybody else who's looking to get a little bit more information in 10 minutes or less about the whole thing, that's a good way to at least get a lot of information in a easy way to consume. So if there's anything else that you need to know, want to know, feel free to reach out. But that should hopefully help you and a few other people.
Definitely. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm glad I joined this space actually.
Ah, man, I'm glad you joined too, Jilla, bro.
Hey, I
Yo, I
You
heard
came
y'all
with
good.
the
I
talking.
love it.
story time.
You know what I'm
You killed it,
saying?
bro.
Earlier when they mentioned Jordans, when you guys were talking to that stab guy and you mentioned Jordans, that's when I kind of raised my hand and came in like, wait, hold on. Like I don't want any slander about. We call him Uncle Money. So
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
no
JT
slander about Uncle
JT, when
Money.
we get in the homes, man? When we get in the home lows, bro?
Man, actually they have them.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah,
here.
he
I'm
has
here.
them, and it's not many pairs. They will be numbered. It's not many pairs, and he's basically just trying to figure out on how he's gonna allocate them. You know, he gets in a lot of trouble. People think that he don't. He gets in a lot of trouble with the releases, but
Well, he
I
did right
mean,
with DOAs. Like he came back to DOAs right, fed the home.
yeah.
Anybody in Florida definitely ate, and so it was definitely. I think what he does with that don't even matter. But
I mean, he just got a bad name from
oh, that was the
the
best story
freeze
that's
out.
untold, bro. Like
Yeah,
that
the
should have
the
been
freeze
recorded.
outs just
That
really
should have been
rubbed
recorded for
the
Netflix
sneaker
for a
community
series.
of
Yeah, dude, that
yeah.
hotel room was iconic. That room was iconic. And like I said, I wish it was recorded for a Netflix series because nobody will ever know unless you were here. So,
JC, what
um,
size
Yeah,
you wear, man?
11.
And we let's
I
if you
got
got
you.
connect you
I
connect to the
got
home,
you.
we can do a conversation
You
about
already got him, man.
these voids for a pair of homes. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
need a size
definitely, man,
14, size
definitely,
15.
definitely. I talked to Kari and sneaker fetish. I talked to him and I told him, hey man, you should reach out. You're a big influencer. The stories that you tell and the meanings of the sneakers and behind the sneakers, you're doing an incredible job and you definitely putting the sneaker community in tune. So I told him to reach out and he did and he got good results from it. Marcus reached out to him, reached back to him and told him, hey, I see your page. I see what you're doing. And man, you need a pair, let me know. And he definitely sent them.
Yeah, we got a wrap, man.
Nah, Kari's goaded.
No, I think this is again a big reason why I love Artifact in a way. It's like when you really look at the way a lot of these limited edition drops go from the tier zero SBs getting allocated to skate shops and them having all their friends and they allocate a very large percentage to people that come in and buy them and backdoor and Travis Scott having his own warehouse and him and his boys slowly eking out pairs slowly and surely to like make sure the resale is out. Union. Ami, or, like all of these massive brands that have these sneaker collaborations and with limited edition sneakers, it's like the way they're allocated is either through computer programming or the people who actually have the allocated numbers, and then they slowly eke them out for resale value or just secondary value or just secondary, money put back in their pockets because the brands can do so much. They give them X amount of allocated pairs. Marcus Jordan's a perfect example of this again, with the trophy rooms and do it with do it big and basically
Well,
backdooring a lot of a lot again it's the entire industry in the way where it's like certain people are allocated a certain amount of pairs and they get eked out and so it's like with the allocation and the way that the Artifact, I mean none of these shoes are getting backdoored to the normal people that get backdoored. Like none of these pairs are getting like 80% of them are getting allocated to shops and resellers and people that'll pay over retail value for these shoes ahead of the drop so they can then resell them for a certain amount, and the people that have the original allocation from the actual company are just sending massive amounts of them to the warehouse. So again, this is just inherent within sneaker culture. It's been happening for a really long time, and then the guys that have really strong bots, they'll eat up the majority of the share. That's why it's like with this whole artifact dunk too. It's like with having tiered colorways too with different access points, and then also having colorways enough for everyone to actually eat when they were there, and then also eking out that last 1,000 pairs for the actual public now to understand and see the brand. I just seen the last 3 sneaker releases, from the Crypto Kick IRLs to the Air Force Ones to now the Dunks, and each one of them increasing in quantity, and again spread out between a lot of different colorways to increase rarity for specific colorways, to keep it true within sneaker culture, for certain colorways to be really rare. It's not like every SB is super sought after, but certain colorways of SBs and Jordans and stuff like that are very sought after. So obviously, going back to what you said, I think this is just a starting point of where it's going to go. And again, with the dunk, now that they retooled it and redesigned it, like they're going to go after it and try to enter it into the marketplace with different cool collaborations, colorways, limited edition drops. It'll just be really interesting to see what happens with this dunk silhouette overall. But again, access points to people that were not only supporting the brand, but at certain access points, and they're not being held specifically for resale value or to get money off the back of other people who ended up designing it in the first place. So distribution model for this is, I think, A1. I mean, when you talk about all the tech and the add-ons and
Yeah,
all that other stuff, it's dope.
yeah.
But the way you can actually get access to these and how many pairs you can get with these accesses, just by being part of it, I think that's the winning formula. Because again, I took an L for the 7th straight year in a row. I mean, let's be realistic. I haven't copped a shoe off a sneakers app in years, and I took one this morning, but I have guaranteed I think 6 of these pairs coming to me over the next like couple of weeks as they get shipped out from the pre-order. That was just something that I thought about ahead of time, but again, I'm not stressing. A lot of my friends are FOMOing. Again, the Void and the Ghost were available in 2 different tiered public waves that you could have bought as many as you wanted to, for your appetite. And a lot of people again slept on it because the time frame of turnaround. But when you have that foresight to be able to cop as many as you want, now a lot of people are sitting here with regret, and the people that were here that understood how this feeling was going to come when they were getting delivered, they took advantage of it. So um,
I think Nike is watching, and they know what they doing, man. They allocated perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but like the amount that they gave to sneakers just to see how the turnout would be, just to see how the bite is. And they're watching, man, and they saw the response and the reaction from it. And like I said, man, with that being said, it's definitely a new future for Nike, and man, they definitely are gonna, kind of voyeur towards this angle of shoe, with the Nike Dunk. It was kind of losing its spunk to it anyways, the regular Dunk, the OGs. So with this coming out and the reaction that they got from it, yeah, it's definitely gonna be a new future, man. That's why they only gave sneakers 1,000 pairs just to see how it is. The
If more.
NFT community, they ate, and as they should, because anytime it's a collaboration, Nike always get the less amount. Whoever collaborated with Nike, they get the most pairs to allocate. Nike gets a certain amount of pairs after they get their pairs. Actually, in the case of Jordan with Marcus, he actually get the pairs first and then he allocates to Nike. So with
Damn.
that being said, it's the same with the NFT, and I think that it's gonna be a new future, man. I think that Nike did their thing with it, and like I said again, and I can't keep saying it, you know, anymore. But like I said, man, it's definitely a new wave with the Nike Dunk, and I think it's a lot more to come.
Sheila, let me ask you a question. So you said you grew up with certain key people, so I can only estimate around your age. You're around probably the same age as me. So have has anyone that you known who's a part of the sneaker game as well, maybe not as in depth as you, but just a part of it, have they had any type of conversations speaking about what's going on here, artifact dunks or anything like that?
Um, Not the artifact dunks, but like here in Chicago, it's a shoe store called Success, and it's owned by a guy named Lavelle Sykes. He's man, he's super into the sneaker community, and we have talks all the time. He was actually gonna put like a studio in his store, and it was gonna do like podcasts in the back. I thought that would have been a good idea. But he always talking about, the allocation of sneakers and the quantity, the how limited the pairs are, and do you think that it's going to be a good shoe, and the OGs and stuff like that. Like, he's really deep into the sneaker community. So if you ever in Chicago, man, feel free to stop by, Success store, and talk to the guy, man. He's heavy into the sneakers. So he actually did a couple of things on the Sneakers app. They had like little releases and stuff like that. And he was actually a part of the Chicago theme with the sneakers app. So, he's heavy
Fire.
into sneakers, man. I wish he had a Twitter. He definitely would have chimed in on it and gave us some insight on it.
That's fire. So let me ask you this question as a follow up to that demographic who are in the trenches with you, who don't necessarily have the Twitters and aren't jumping on these stages to have these conversations. How would you say the best method would be to get that information to them so they can understand what's going on here, just like we're doing right now with you?
Podcasts, YouTubes, stuff like that, man. They're watching. They're watching. And though that's pretty much the best way. Word of mouth isn't it don't go far. The podcast and the YouTube channels and stuff like that, man, is really big. It's important. It's big. Kari, he's another one, really big. People watch that, man, and they, that's how they basically take interest into sneakers, hearing the backstory behind it and stuff like that. With this artifact, I believe, if Kari had a pair, man, he would get deep entail into the story and the meaning behind the sneaker, and I really think that it would go far. It would be a lot. It would be big to the artifact community. I think you'll have more people jumping into the NFTs and the digital stuff like that. Or whatever. It'll do a lot.
I
He's
agree.
a big influencer. A
I
big
agree.
influencer.
I've had offline conversations with Kari about finding a way to get him a pair to do exactly that because, like I told him and said many a times before, he gets into the story behind everything when it comes to these
Yeah.
releases, and that's the thing that
Yeah.
gets emotionally attached to all of us for us to even be more embedded into the process of even getting the product. So I agree with you 110%. Kari is definitely one of the main players that should have
Oh,
received a
and
pair.
Dre, he's been working. He's been
Yeah.
listening,
No,
recorded. Like
yeah, yeah.
he's definitely listening in, and so like I'm excited to see when his content, because I think just like all his other videos, like he puts out good shit, like not just random stuff. Nah, it's a story behind it. He does his research, and I just can't wait because I've been seeing him more than I ever have, and that's because of these shoes. So definitely, if he doesn't get seated, we need to help him in the
I was just
community.
gonna say,
Yeah,
maybe if he didn't get a pair, someone could, actually take a pair over and just let him do a video on it.
I'm
That's a big thing to the artifact community.
I'm gonna be honest with you. He on the list that I'm composing myself individually. His name. He's one of the initial people that I reached out to because my ear is to the streets as well, as far as the attention span and where people are going to get their information when it doesn't come from these type of places. So I'm already on top of that. I just want to know if it was anybody else or any other ways or any other opinions that you had when it came to releasing the information to get the culture more embedded in what's happening here in the present moment.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. If you didn't follow anyone with an NFT badge for their profile picture or anything like that, if you didn't follow anyone with that, you wouldn't see the space. So that community is it may be big, but it's not as big because a lot of people can't see it. So they don't know what's going on. They don't have an understanding on it. A lot of people are into sneakers, but they don't have an understanding on it. I didn't have a clarification until the host actually put me in tune with everything like that. I just knew a little about it just off of seeing the post. But
Oh, and let me expand a little bit more upon that, right? So, what is this artifact thing? Because maybe you're going to speak to other people, so I feel like it's important to clarify some of these things, right? So,
hmm
Zap Zaptio is one of the founders, and he used to make custom sneakers on Instagram and build a lot of the, you know how it is, where you put custom
hmm
materials and all that kind of stuff,
hmm
right? And then you had a guy named Clegg, who's another founder, and he would do started off with the digital skins for like the shooting games like CS:GO, and then he started doing
Okay.
remixes of sneakers, like Air Force Ones, Off Whites, like all that stuff. But they would do like crazy designs, right? And so it popped off on Instagram. They kind of like teamed up, and then they started doing like stuff on TikTok where it was like 3D visualizations of like Pokemon shoes and all types of craziness, right? And then
Okay.
and they
Okay.
they started coming up with roadmaps and messaging, trying to get as you dream as a kid, you try to send stuff into Nike and etc. And eventually, they teamed up with Jeff Staple to do which is obviously the pigeon dunks, which had the
Yeah, the
riot
pigeon
the
dump.
riot in New
Yes.
York and all that stuff, which started the whole Nike SB thing. And they did a digital sneaker together, right, which was called the Meta Pigeons. And then at that point, around that time, Nike acquired Artifact. So Artifact is not an outside collaborator. They're like a R&D lab that is owned by Nike. So they've that's why they did 14 Air Force Ones. They did the self lacing sneakers that was the similar to the Air Mags,
Okay.
and now they're doing the Dunks. But this is not going to stop here because they're working on other sneakers, other colorways. They got access like the Vanna Blacks that you saw come out. Originally, they were Artifact Air Force Ones that had the
hmm
completely blackout, and LeBron wore those, right? So
Right.
it's
Right.
not
I
just
saw that.
a one like where you would see Acronym or some of these other streetwear brands come and collaborate with Nike. This is like they're working directly with Nike. Like Nike is pat registering patents for this authentication of the shoes, for these drop mechanisms of the pre-order and all that stuff. So that's just something else to consider. Is like the founders now are like design directors at Nike. You know what I mean? They're at the Sneakers app headquarters in New York and that kind of thing. So just as something, a little side note that I think is important, is really, they're working with the Dot Swoosh team. There was a Dot Swoosh you could sign up with. Somebody mentioned it earlier, and you could select an artifact as your icon on Dot Swoosh. So this is like all coordinated and working together. You got Nike executives who are aware of this, like, and also, some of the top designers are working on this. They got the team trying to figure out how to solve the black market with all the bootleg pairs and all that stuff. So, it's a coordinated effort, with Nike as well, and it's a long term thing. It's not just it doesn't stop here at the dunks, right? So that's the only thing I wanted to kind of side note there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Super excited, man. Super excited to see what else Nike has in store.
Facts. I appreciate your perspective and the input you gave, and like
And thanks for letting me join, man. I appreciate
somebody's gonna give you the dub though. I could feel it. I could feel it because you gave good
it.
input. You know what I mean? So,
Tell the man to shoot me a DM.
oh,
Shoot me a DM. I got you.
that's the plug
Who said
talking.
that?
That's Baron. That's the artifact plug. He got everything. Everything.
Wait, which
Dude,
one?
I'm down here in the STL. I'll take care of the Chicago, brother. You know what I'm saying? Up there, Midwest. Dude, I'm
I
trying to
don't
get
see
these.
who's talking. Oh, Baron, I see
Yeah,
you.
that
Okay.
that weird looking puppet. Um,
Okay.
but I want to get these shoes down in the pro shop at the Grove, man. That's what I've been working on. So that's the type of place these shoes need to be. Is that and I know what you know that I'm what I'm talking about, and other places like that where you know
and that's a coveted drop. You know, that's like, holy shit, what are these in this shoe shop? Oh well, you can't get them anywhere else. But anyways, yeah, enough of me talking. Just shoot me a DM and I'll get them out in the mail to you when they get to me.
I'll definitely shoot you a DM, bro.
Baron, I'm gonna have to shoot you a DM too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, you guys had your fair access. You guys had your chance. This man wasn't around, man. I got to help him out. You know what I mean? Spread the word, the gospel.
That's love.
Definitely, man, definitely. And if anyone could, man, like I said, I'm not just hanging on this guy coattail, but Kari, man, he's a big inspiration to me, man. I enjoy watching his videos. I love when he tells his stories about the sneakers, man. And if someone could, man, just even if you just take a pair to him or something, or he's a good trustworthy guy, man. I've sent them shoes, so
I'll try to find
it's
your dad for you.
he'll definitely send it back. But send him the shoe and let him do a video on it, man.
I'll try to find your dad.
He said, "I'll try to find your dad."
Well, yeah, man, I'm glad that you came up here. I really appreciate it, and yeah, so I'm definitely hit up Baron. That's the man right there in the community. So
I will.
that's the plug. So, yo, we got a couple people more on stage. I do want to give everybody an opportunity to speak because this is a big moment for like our community, and I want to hear like the
Quit being a
perspectives.
fag, dude. Quit being
What?
a fag, first and foremost.
Yeah, this guy
Wow.
this guy ain't funny like
Who is
Steph.
that? Is that the
So
one that just
let's
said
boost
Hot
him.
trying to
Mike. Hot Mike.
Yeah,
Trying to
let's
Somebody
find your
let's
hot
move
dad.
mic
on.
for
to be
real.
all politically correct? Oh, I want to thank
Big
Roast it
boot,
too.
man. Co-host privilege. Big boot. Get him out of here.
Pepe brought his cousin. Get your frog people out of here though.
I was like, he's trying to find my dad. Like, what is he
I didn't
talking
even
about?
see who that was. I did.
Fuck, man.
He was
I
gone
could
before the moment I could see it.
Yeah, co-host privilege, man. You got to get him out of here.
So yeah, yeet. But yeah,
Yeah.
Golden or tell if you want to give your input or Will. I know a couple people haven't got a chance to speak yet, and this is a big moment for all of us. So yeah, I'd love to hear your perspective. Did you catch the L? Did you catch the dub? What's going on?
Yo, what up? What's good, everybody? I see everybody in here, the whole gang, the whole squad. I came in a little late. I've been running around doing too much. I heard the end of what Jilla was saying, so it's good to see that we got other people from like just the outside seeing what we've been having cooking for months. So I'm just happy. I ain't gonna lie. I took an L though. I'm sorry about that. And my girl took an L. She's salty too. So yeah. um, I'm pumped though because I still got my pairs. Unfortunately, she looking at me crazy right now, but yeah, I still got my pairs. Unfortunately, so the pre-order. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad everybody responding to it. I'm excited for the future, and yeah, more to come. I'm excited. So
Did you get them yet, or you waiting on the shipment?
I got my partner's pair that I paid for at Complex Con. I got his pair, and then my brother got his pair. My other pairs don't come till next week.
But you got to see them, right? Did you take a peek in the
No,
box,
I
or,
ain't been
or
over
you?
there yet. I ain't been over there yet.
Oh, got you.
I ain't even
Okay.
seen them yet. I'm low key gonna wait till I get my own pair and just hold out.
I hear that. And so, yo, what's your thoughts on? Have you heard anything from any other like sneakerheads or anybody talking about this outside of our little clique?
I mean, overall, I feel like it's been the same responses from everybody. Everybody either don't know what's going on and now are learning what's going on, or been excited and just taking advantage of the opportunity. That's all I've been seeing. It's been the same thing. We knew this was gonna happen though when it happened. We just excited, and it's just good to see it. To be honest.
True, that's facts. That's facts. Yeah, man. Metaversal, we got someone else up here. What's going on? Did you catch a L or a dub? I guess that's a L.
Looks like
Um,
a
sounds like a L.
Yo, I'm laughing at who was that? Don Julio. He's like, she's me mugging me right now though. he's like, I got a pair for my bro. I got a pair for my Brody.
I mean, I had to make sure everybody was straight. I told everybody though. That's the thing. I told a lot of people, bro, and it's funny to see today because I'm like, I told you, I told you, I told you.
So can
That's
I
why they
ask
call
you?
him Tell. That's why they call him Tell.
I was gonna say, can I ask you a question? So the people that you told, are they familiar with the artifact community? Like, do they know anything about it? And what were they reactions to the sneaker?
I mean, the people that I told, they just know from what I've been telling them, and they liked them. They just didn't like the wait time, and they didn't believe that it was gonna take that long. So they thought like, oh well, I don't know if I'm gonna get the shoe. They was kind of skeptical. That was the main reason that made people really not want to pay. Other than that, I feel like they would have bought the shoes if they knew they was gonna get them quicker. They would have bought them. But that wait time was just throwing everybody off. That I was throwing numbers out there too, and they was just kind of like a little wary of it.
Was it any discrepancy about the price, or were they cool with the price?
No, because once I broke the story down and kind of gave them like a little rundown of what the shoe was about, they like, okay, that makes sense. So then, no, they wasn't tripping on the price.
Okay.
I told you, my mama got a pair. She got two pairs.
Bro, speaking of that, I heard they're comfortable too, man. So I can't wait, bro.
That's why I told her. Next week. I'm like, I want you to try them on. I want to see how you like them. Cause she said she a yeeter though. She sell everything. She like, yeah, these gotta go. She ain't trying to get it gone. But I'm like, slow down now. You might like it.
Oh.
We got the Clone X colorway. We got the Clone X colorway 2 coming, and she got that in the size 10. So she ready to eat that immediately. So
That's how my wife is, man, and I try to tell her a lot, like, man, don't sell, wear them, wear them. She actually had the freeze out in a size 7, and that size was like super limited. And she was just like, man, how much can I get for these? And it was to the point to where I didn't even want to tell her. So she did her own research. Come home and they gone.
Hey, Jilla, I want you to stick around for just a little bit longer if you can, because
Okay.
I've been texting Kari, and
Mm-hmm.
he said that basically like he was trying to jump up on stage earlier, but we had a glitch and I had to restart the spaces, so he wasn't able to
Okay.
jump up here, but he was already in the audience. So he said he's gonna jump up there ASAP. So we might see him jump in here real soon. So yeah, just hang. That's right. The king is here. Yes. So yeah, make sure that you hold on for a little bit for that. Did anybody else not get a chance to give their take on today's? It's not a bad take. It's not a good take. It's neither of those things. How'd you feel, L or Dub? Anybody not get a chance to speak on it on today?
Man, I've been taking a fat L today because my shipping got updated to today, but now I think they're playing with me, and now I think it's mind games because I don't see nobody. I know my UPS guy too. I could actually go talk to him if he's down the street and he would give me my package, but I literally haven't seen him on the block. I've been standing outside because I don't trust people.
I love
Yeah.
how you and Frank and everybody got relationships with a postman. I mean, that's hilarious. And they're all like, wait a second, what's this fragile package about?
So did everyone from the pre-order come like Frank's with the fragile on it?
That's how they deliver it, man.
Okay. Okay.
I ain't know.
Nice.
Hold on, when that info got leaked.
Look.
I can't I
Uh-oh.
can't remember who it was, but somebody
I think it was Frank, right?
That was Frank.
it was Frank, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
he said that the postman was. Hey, I mean, and talking about someone who's ordered 160, probably hundreds of pairs in his lifetime. Mr. Nike SB Dunk, he just got on stage now, but his postman stopped him and was like, "Hold on a second, what's so different about these ones? Because I don't the way it's packaged, the fragile, the tape on it, the way that it's presented in this white glove manner." Now I'm embellishing that last part, but he needed to know what's in there because he knew there was something different.
Yo, I'm posting it. I'm posting it right now in the
Yeah,
bubble
you gotta
and at the
post that,
bottom.
bro.
While
That's
you at
fire,
it,
bro.
y'all need to retweet the room. put some comments. More people start knowing what's going on in here, and I'm gonna go post that picture for you, Dutchie.
I'm gonna retweet it right now. Retweet.
Frank, this is what we needed, right? People to,
Air
remind people to
Force.
show love to the space and to retweet, to drop a comment. We in here working, we're spreading information, we're educating, we're on board, and we're doing all that kind of stuff. So, and also follow each other, man, because most likely if you made it to the space somehow, then we're probably gonna run into each other in the future. You know what I mean? So you don't gotta
Yeah,
only follow the
definitely.
speakers, follow each other. You know what I mean? Because that information is power. I see someone new on the stage. My young. Did you try to catch these? Did you catch an L or a dub?
He threw a heart. That means yeah.
Ain't gotta be a speaker to throw an emoji though.
Hey, that's a certified W right there. I don't know if everybody can hear me. Can you hear me, Dutchie?
Yeah. We hear you. We hear you. Certified
All right.
dub. The
Yeah, yeah.
heart equals dub, right? Is that what you're
All
saying?
right. So now, young Carlos, if you was late on it, now you know when you get them though, you can scan them and claim the NFT. Claim your digital art, your companionship with it. That's the authentifier shoe. Just so you know, I don't know if you know, but you up here.
Yeah, most people don't know that they could scan the heel and claim that, and who knows? I mean, I don't want to speculate, but I mean that might be a pass to a future dub. We don't even know.
Oh
So
wow,
don't
Frank
slip.
pinged. He pinged his package at the top. Nice.
Oh, fragile. Hold up. Let me see.
Yo, yeah, you see the
Handle with
tape on the
care.
box,
Yeah, you
bro? Like
see
it's
it.
corner taped. Like I'm like, hold on, what is going on? Like, and he delivered it to my door, bro. Like that was the
Nah, bro. If I worked at UPS, man, if I was that dude that Dre had that incident with, man, I'd be bookmarking that shit right now.
That was FedEx. That was a FedEx incident. Let's just clarify because I don't want my UPS driver is a
I,
goat too, man. He held me down, so it's definitely FedEx.
I'd be there too, man. I'd be at FedEx
You
too,
got
man.
He
hey,
said no.
you got to celebrate the postman in this case. I mean, everybody's cool with their postman. We got to celebrate them. We got to give
like
them
did
the dub on the next one. Come on now.
like was it like
Yo, when you get
signature
shipments
delivery?
like
Like
that,
what
bro.
what was going on? Like what artifact request to get this one delivered like
But
this?
that's honestly every artifact delivery has been on this level for real. Like it comes with this type of white glove service for real. Before it was DHL, and DHL used to. Well, I've had hella Air Force Ones come
But
just
Dre, it
walking up to
feels
the
like
door.
I've been seated, bro. It feels like I've been seated on the day of
Nah,
the
yeah.
release on sneakers. It shows up on my door, like you
The
know what I'm
tape, the
saying?
tape job is immaculate too.
And
Yeah, they
and
put their foot in it.
peep the Easter eggs in the top left corner. You'll see two more pairs of artifact Air Force Ones. You'll see the Mirakamis in the top left and the
I see him.
humans right there next to the corner of the box, the white with the baby blue. And those are also self-authenticating. You needed to have the digital item to catch the dub on that one. It was a pre-order, all
Okay.
that stuff. So and those are crazy. The Mirakamis, if you know about Mirakami and
Yes, they are.
his
Yeah.
status, then that's crazy. I think a little baby was trying to pick up those. Am I right? Am I right on
He
that
did.
one?
He got him. He got him.
He caught the dub on that, and then Tyga was rocking them on like a album cover with
Genesis.
the Genesis pair.
No, we also got Kid Cudi a pair of Murakami's at Complex Con too. With the full
Sheesh.
value.
Tank Davis. Tank Davis
Nice.
pick is the best
Nice.
one. Still got the reptiles with the ankle monitor. That is a
They're the
great photo.
legendary for the streets.
And y'all gotta remember Khaled out here, head to toe, toe to head. When he was doing that, that's the humans on his feet.
Oh right, yeah. He said what was he saying that the name of the shoes were? I call these damn, what did he call
Oh, he
those?
said like the Tiffany Elmos or something.
Oh
Something
yeah,
wild.
Tiffany Elmo.
They
Yo,
got J.J. Abrams is walking around in them. Yep. The DNAs. I wonder who gave him those.
apparently
Oh,
What
the
what
plug.
about
no
what about
lookers.
Wayne Gretzky? Who gave him those?
Wayne Gretzky.
The great one.
He wore them on TNT, but I didn't give them to JJ. Someone else did, and their name starts with Artifact. So, yeah, I think Takashi may have asked for him to be on there, but Yeah, dude, these shoes are in the houses of many people that follow the game and don't talk much about it. Um, it's a great day, man. This shit's fire, dude.
Are you talking about the Murakami's or the artifacts?
The Murakamis were the artifacts, so the same difference. There was two
Okay.
versions of the Murakamis. There was the MK drips, which were the flower ones that you saw in Frank's, and then there was another more limited version that had a lot of the eyeball art that he has. There's a certain name for that eyeball, but anyways, they were
DNA, right?
Jellyfish.
jellyfish
Jellyfish.
Yeah.
eyes. Yep.
Give him the breakdown, Dutchie.
But yeah, so if you look at a lot of us have those like characters. Like if you look at Golden's avatar, you see he's got the
Mm-hmm.
Murakami flowers around his neck. And so
Okay.
basically in this artifact, they got these characters called CloneX. And so all of those 14 Air Force Ones are themed after the different types of clones that there are. So you got angels, demons, aliens, like robots, etc. So I have a robot, right? And then they have a Murakami type. And when you had the Murakami, that gives you access to more Murakami stuff. So basically, when you have a rare one, you get access to even rarer drops of the sneakers, of the Air Force Ones, of the self-lacing sneakers, and then the dunks and etc. So they even had Murakami clothes, like they had streetwear that you could get for a limited time. Same idea, and then you could also scan the tag, and it would be the self authenticating to make sure that it's a real piece. So if you think about that, with like all the amount of bootleg clothes that's out there and all that, they're also implementing it into limited lines of clothing as well, and based off of what type you have, that's what you have access to, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then all of these was NFTs first and then physical. So this is the first time that they've thrown out this pre-order and get the physical, and then you get the NFT behind it. You see what I'm saying? So these other
But you
ones
know
that he
what's
was speaking
crazy?
of was
You know what's
NFTs
crazy
first.
is we're talking all physical and digital, but like we're totally missing the whole gaming aspect. We're like future, like where if these could be skins. I mean, what they just had a robot game with the Void skin on it. Like I'm not big into the games, but I
Don't
did see
scare them
something
away. Don't scare them
like
away.
like like we're not even
Keeping
talking
it
about.
simple right now. We're keeping it
Don't
Yeah,
scare
yeah,
them
simple.
yeah.
away
I
I
now.
know.
I didn't want to jump into all that because, to be honest, like we're trying to keep it on the sneakers. I feel it though, because me, I want to jump in the whole VR and all that kind of conversation. But on the onboarding tip, I feel like it could be a little too much. You know what I mean? But once you deep in it, then you want to learn everything. But all I wanted to say is these characters have gives you access to streetwear, to sneakers, to like events in real life, like like you got your tickets to Complex Con. Like it's a little bit more than what it may appear to be, and then of course some super nerdy shit like what he's talking about right now too.
Yeah, and I'll plug myself again one more time. That video that I put up there a little bit earlier walks you through all that in a very simple way, right? So if you're looking to understand like the whole big picture, just at a high level and get the full overview, that gives you that. And if you want to come back and go deep down the rabbit hole, then we can do that in a different space. But that is a good overview. Not to toot my own horn, but I think it's a good one.
Nah, Teddy got
Definitely,
valid
definitely
YouTube.
been bookmarked. Definitely been bookmarked.
Toot that horn, man.
Can we pin that? Can we pin that to the top? Jamie, can you pull that up?
I thought I pinned it earlier, unless we got rugged and the whole space got rugged. Yeah, it's a few pins back, but repin it, bring it back.
But yeah, definitely. And all of them are themed off of Murakami art. So like it's a collaboration in between Artifact and Murakami, the artist, who did like the Kanye album cover back in the days. The what was it, Graduation or whatnot. He did the Jesus piece. Actually, like Travis Scott had a Jesus piece done by Murakami. Kid Cudi has done album covers with Kanye, Murakami. It's kind of, if you're not familiar with the artist himself, like he's worked with Louis Vuitton and like all that.
Mm.
So all of them are based off of his art. So we're kind of all wearing Murakami art, if that makes sense. And then it acts as like a sneaker and streetwear pass.
Yeah, this is definitely deep.
It goes deep.
It's
Yeah,
deep.
for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, got to see what's going.
Well, we got
Pepe going
breaking
off.
news. Dunk Wars about to happen. What's going on in Pepe? What are you trying to signal right now? Dunk Wars on Fortnite? What's going on?
I
Pepe
got
is like Beaker from Muppet Babies, man. He don't speak.
hell no. um,
That's the UPS label
I
printer.
do think Pepe, this is your time for the voice reveal. I
the
think we've been
reveal.
waiting. Yeah, we've
We
been
never heard
waiting.
his voice before. We need
No,
something.
don't do it.
Just do it. Say one thing.
Yo, so when Gretzky, the way that they put it together on Abrams and Gretzky is they were wearing them. Mrs. Janet was wearing them in a meeting where he was at, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I think I have those." And then they put it together. So like, that's fucking dope when two people like that at that level of society are like, "Wait, you got them too? How'd you get them?" And then they start asking questions about where the friendships lie, and it's just fucking sick. I and then so when Gretzky's kids saw him, then they all wanted him, and so now they're all over the Stanley Cup ride. They're going flying on jets back and forth between Florida and Edmonton with all the right people wearing those shoes. I bet because I know that I just gave them like six more pairs when I gave Wayne his, and because DJ was asking for more pairs because he's a fucking Dustin Johnson, the best one of the best golfers in the world, top live player. He's obsessed with Artifact. He's got all four colorways coming his way. Tatum's getting all four colorways. Beal's getting all four colorways.
Oh
So I mean,
wow.
it's just starting, man. That's just a start. You know what I mean? That's not even Nike seeding or Artifact seeding. So um,
That's that Barron's list. See,
well,
Jilla, I told you.
it's attraction. You know, you can't do that shit without good product. You know what I'm saying? I sent them a huge load for Christmas, and after that, when they were asking for more, that's when you know, okay?
Okay.
Because I feel like if they don't like it, they're not going to ask for more. You know what I mean? Um, it's hard to impress people like that, and people. It's hard to have things that not many other people have, and right now, that's the key to the game. And Nike's making it hard for people to be limited, but not with this stuff. It's dope. It's fun to have people like you up here, Jilla. I did send you a text, but so make sure to
Okay.
check your text. But it's fun to hear like the raw reaction from the people that haven't been involved with it. That's why I'm trying to not talk so much because I just love hearing people's reactions.
So, by the way, if you guys want to hear Kari's reaction, he just messaged me and said that, and I mentioned you, Jilla, as well. And he said, okay, that's what's up. Good people too. I'm gonna jump in shortly. So that's the latest word on that.
Okay. Okay. I just actually got a text from Do It Big Chicago.
What I think is interesting is he said that he caught an L on sneakers, but obviously he got 300 pairs on the NFT side. So that's an interesting parallel where on the app you're catching an L, but really you got 300 pairs, and it wasn't the back doors fair and square, right? Arc Knight, what's going on, man? I see you just added yourself to a speaker. If you got did you catch a L? Did you catch a dub? Any thoughts on today's drop? Or nah?
Is he speaking?
He out. He out. Yeet.
There you go.
All right, we got Chicago on the stage. What's going on, man?
Just found the
Dubber
plug,
L.
Chicago. We done found the
I
plug,
saw
Big
I
Chicago.
saw
Al.
the I saw the homie John on here. I had to come on my burner account because one of the three co-hosts has me blocked.
What?
Say
Uh,
what?
take you got to take a guess on that one.
Yeah, just guess.
Yeah, I
He
know.
has a gun.
It's all good. I got more
Hey,
burners.
so Do It Big Chicago, man. How do you like the shoe? I know you've opened them and actually had them in hand. So what is your take on them?
Dude, to be honest, my pairs are sitting in Hong Kong. Nothing's moved in fucking days. I don't have a single one of 47 orders here because of a
Wow.
glitch in the matrix. But I saw a pair this morning. Somebody in Chicago had one that I know. So be honest, I've made a post before on it, dude. Like the shoe's clean. I won't knock the shoe one bit. Like there's a reason I bought 300 pairs. It has nothing to do with artifact. It has to do with the pure value of the shoe. Shoe's clean. Shoe's been clean. Not saying it's for everybody, not saying everybody's going to wear it, not saying everybody should wear it. Some people here are going to look fucking stupid trying to wear it. Some people are going to look good trying to wear it. Like that's every shoe though. Like some people shouldn't wear a lot of these fucking shoes. I'm fucking size 15, 16, and these things might look retarded on my fucking feet. They might not. Like that's all TBD. We'll have to find out later. But I don't have
But
my
I see
size.
this shoe. This shoe brought you back to the game. I see.
Nah, this shouldn't bring me back to the game. Fucking bad decisions and bad decisions and NFTs made me try to recoup my money in other places. But that's a whole nother story. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not I mean, I have no fucking bag bias to fucking Artifact. Like, in, out, this one's purely fucking financial, and I like shoes. Only reason I bought Artifact in the first place was because Nike was here before I minted. So I got no issue with that. I do think that the model only works selectively. Like I do think that people have this skewed a little bit on, how well pre-orders work and how well this and exclusivity. Like I'll say it to Frank because I saw your post. I'll say it to whatever. Like we all know this if we've been around. Pre-orders are cool, but they don't work if everybody can get something. Not everybody wants it. Like this shoe might be a mild exception for a second. But I mean, let's, keep it a buck. Like if they start pre-ordering every fucking dunk, Frank ain't buying every fucking dunk when there's a potential 6 million pairs that just got pre-ordered. Like if you like it, you'll buy it. And that's a real simple. Like the pre-order model is not good for this whole sneaker business, but for some shoes, it's not bad. I
I
mean,
think that was always the point, though. It's always about hype. It's not. Nobody wants pre-orders of Panda Dunks. We love
no,
pre-orders
but at the
of
beginning,
Air Yeezy too.
everybody would have been cool with pre-orders of Panda Dunks, bro. Those motherfuckers got hot during fucking stimmies and PPP loans and EID, and fucking you could have
Well,
sold
no,
two and
I'm
a
talking
half
about
million
now. Yeah,
pairs.
because there was
All the
hype. The
restock.
same thing. We saying the same thing. Hype. There was hyped at that point. But I'm saying
But
for
when you can open pre-orders for stuff that's supposed to be limited, it defeats the purpose of what it actually is.
But
Like, and
could you not put a max cap on that, right? Like
if you
max
put, well,
supply?
listen, if you put a max cap on it, guess what? You guys are all gonna fucking hate me again because I'm gonna game the system with all these little fucking shorties, and you're still not getting fucking pairs.
all right, we're thinking
Because
about it this
we're
way.
gonna bot the pre-orders, we're gonna bot the fucking everything else, and if they do a pre-order for 10,000 pairs, first 10,000 people in, guess what? The same people who didn't get in before are still gonna be too fucking slow to get into pre-orders.
Well, the
Look,
formula
you can't
works
have the best of both.
if you have a certain amount allocated that comes from the inventory. It's the same thing that happened here. They had 1,000 to the side, and it don't have to be a definite 1,000 every time, but have a certain amount allocated, but also have an ability to have up to a certain amount that can be sold. You see what I'm
I'm
saying?
okay. I'm okay with everything that's transparent. Like the only reason I try to fuck with a lot of these fucking different releases and play at stuff is because it's not transparent. Like I would quit every bit of reselling if all these companies made it fucking transparent. If Ticketmaster was transparent, I got no reason to go at them. If Nike's transparent, I got no reason to go at them. I mean, call it what it is. Like we won't get into all the fucking stories of that, but like that's the reality of it. Like I want stuff to be fair first, but if you guys aren't going to make it fair, not you guys, but if it's not going to get made fair on the primary, then fuck it. Like I'm going at the bigger problem. If the primary is the problem, then there's no problem with people. I'm a high school dropout who knows how to find people on the
I'll
internet
be
who
there
can
in a
make
minute.
shit.
Okay?
What's that?
Sorry, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my son.
Word.
So wait.
Nah,
So were the pre-orders somehow people were able to buy with the pre-orders? Is
nah,
that
No,
what
you
you're
didn't.
never.
No,
saying?
no, no, no.
Nah,
You didn't need to buy it. It was an open pre-order. Like the
Okay.
only issue I have with the way they did this one is exactly you guys. Whoever was around in November when I kept asking them to drop the stock numbers, and I said they're probably in the background trying to add pairs to make themselves look better. I literally hit it on the fucking head with 1,500 pairs that came off because I can read Shopify, I can read blockchain. I knew exactly how many got sold and what the last order was. So you use the estimate, try to get it close, and what did they do? They added 1,000 plus the seeded pairs onto the end, and nobody mentioned it until they got called out on it. Like, just
Yeah,
be
it was. It's
transparent.
not even a call. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not
Just
even
be,
a call out. But to even what Jilla was saying earlier, when you get these deals, you allocate whatever you're going to allocate to your community, and then you also allocate what you allocate to Nike. And I think
correct,
that
correct,
that's
correct.
what
But
was
you got
happening.
to say it.
I think that's what was happening. But yeah, they just didn't say it out loud. But I think that's what was happening, and you spotted it because you read the
There's a reason
blockchain.
154 pairs of trophy rooms in two sizes made it to Sneakers app. Same
Facts,
shit.
facts.
Let's keep it a buck here.
Nah, I hear you loud and clear. But nah, that's
That's
what it
it.
is,
Like if
though.
they
I think
said
that's
at
what
the
it is.
beginning, we're gonna pull 1,000 for
They're
this and
not going to
Yeah,
$500
no,
say
for
it
facts.
seeding.
because
I'm with you.
they're
I'm
not
with
going
you
to
on that.
say it though because they couldn't talk about the sneakers drop at that time.
You don't have to
They,
Yeah,
talk
now.
about that. You don't have to talk about the sneakers drop. You don't have to say that you're doing it on sneakers. You can literally say
yeah, I
that
know,
of
but then
11
think
It would
on
be
how much
thousand.
insinuated
shit.
though.
Yeah,
But
but think how
regardless of
much.
talking
Okay.
about sneakers or not, it's called strategy. It's a business
Yeah.
strategy. You don't.
Yeah.
It's you
No,
can
no,
be
Dre,
transparent to a
1,500, man.
certain
That's a
extent.
we were
rounding
both on the
error.
same thing. At the beginning, the best way to do this would have been hypothetically to drop it on Sneakers app at first. I told you the reason they didn't do
Yeah.
it is because of the refunds and everything else. Turning a shoe on Sneakers would have taken 2 seconds for them to load this the first time. This was a strategy. I'm fine with it. To be honest, I think they were planning to put 1,000 pairs of Ghost on Sneakers too, but I think that I kind of caught them in their tracks, and now they either have to double back and lie or not drop them on there. So
No,
my
no,
guess is
I can speak to that. No, because
Say what?
the ghost
there's
was never a part
1,500
of
pairs
the
that are
strategy to
unaccounted
be
for
Hold
on
of
on, let
Ghost.
Dre talk real quick.
the ghost was never part of the strategy to be on sneakers. So if it came up to now, if being a situation that was on there, then it's a audible, which I don't think will happen.
Well,
But it
I
was
won't ask
never
where I
it
won't
was
ask where
never
they're
part of
going,
the
but I can tell
strategy
you
to have ghost on there.
there's definitely 1,500 pairs that are unaccounted for that the team bought from Ghost the same way as Void because both numbers went up the exact same amount after it closed. So what I'm guessing is now that they're saying they're not going to be a sneakers drop, I think they will find a unique strategy for that 1,000 pairs. Whether or not they say, hey, if you got these on sneakers, you can buy these, but we're not dropping them. Whether they say, if you do this, we're going to have them. Maybe they give them away. Maybe they do whatever. But
That's what I'm thinking.
The final numbers on Ghosts and Voids were both light by where I told everybody 12 to 1,500. We got 1,000 on Voids, and I don't know how many seeded pairs there are, but none of them are in the hands of the people they should be. So seeding is kind of backwards and worthless, even though it's still nice to get them into hands. But like, reality is the team members shouldn't have got these pairs before celebrities got their pairs. You want to really hype up a brand, we all know that's how you do it. The seedless is
Well,
nice.
no, I agree, and these are conversations that I
Yeah,
had
yeah, we
myself.
agree on that.
But these are all things that I've spoken about, right?
Yeah,
And put my input
agreed.
on and looking to make it happen. But you can only do what you can do. This is the same situation I've been saying for the last 2 3 years. You can only do what you can do. Some things are out of your hands, even when it comes to the shipping and the shipping times and the deliverables. Um, you got to accept it for what it was. And if that number was pulled out to bring more hype and bridge more gaps and create more cultural awareness, and that's the new strategy. You know what I mean? But I understand where you coming from and what you're saying because I agree with some of those points. The point of seating is to have seating out there in order to get into people's hands to bring the awareness, to bring the influence, to bring all the wowzers and all of that good stuff. I get that, but like I said, sometimes you got to call it audible depending on what the situation may be, which the cards you have dealt in hand.
The
I,
Audible, I think the only difference is I think the Audible should have been 2 to 3 weeks instead of 1 week. Once everybody called out the date of when it was supposed to drop, like that's the only thing I think. Like if you can move it a week, you can move it 2 weeks. There's nothing that stopped it because the truth is, I got a ton of orders and not one of them is in my hand or has left Hong Kong. And sneakers pairs are going to get there first. So forget about me. But for anybody who's a holder and is down, whatever the fuck they're down in this ecosystem, they should have their pairs before anybody on sneakers gets theirs. And with the way sneakers is delivering lately, there's no way many people get these past Monday, and I bet you some deliveries even show up tomorrow. So on that note, like I think they should have pushed it back slightly farther. I think giving them to team members, for lack of a better, like it's cool, but you don't need to test shipping. This is UPS. We've all been using it forever. Like I don't think they needed to like test shipping. Like they just need to ship a shoe. That's not like that big of a deal. So like that
Nah,
part was off. But it's okay that team members got it. If they put in work
yeah.
for this project to be here, I'm okay with them being the influencers in it. I just think that a couple other people should have got them. Like, like that's the miss, but I don't think that's the biggest deal in the world. And the flip is there's nothing else to sell anyone. So you don't have to influence buying decisions because the buying decisions are already made on this. So on that note, like, it doesn't really matter. If they had another thing, another drop that was coming, they played this one super bad, but because they don't, that's cool. You know, I mean, I think that all these things could have gone in limited runs to different places, like building the demand. Like, personally, I think they should have held more than 1,000 for sneakers. They should have said it at the beginning that we
But
bought 2,500, but they
I
should have.
understand what you're saying,
I
but
can
Real
see,
quick. Let
I
me
can see
let
why.
me. Can I just clarify one thing? Because I'm still sitting here without any dunks,
You and
nothing.
Dre both should have had your pairs already,
Okay.
and I don't know what's
I,
up,
I
but you
agree with
should.
that
But
too. Yeah.
look, I think the big thing, you said it yourself though, with the where things are at, the way this whole model and pre-order model is set up, the seating system, that we've seen in the past, it doesn't really work with how things are, because even leading into Conflict Con, we're still talking about the first time people were seeing the shoes, and that was very few, like a couple of samples that people were able to interact with. So it's not like a lot of other things where these were models that people were sitting on for 6 months plus. These were shoes that retooling was needed. A lot of different first kind of iterations of these things were made. So
I
there's
agree with that.
you said it. I just had to at least make the clarification that team members like me didn't make it on the cut, and
You
the
should
reason
have got
why.
your pair before all these team members,
And
Cash.
no,
If
we agree
But
with
anybody,
you.
if
look,
anybody's
I
good,
agree with that too.
it's you.
But all
there's a quick
together,
there's a quick answer though, because one of the things Artifact does do, which is dope, there's no customs for the people that did like forging and other stuff like that. So whenever we do have test shipments go out, there is a lot of people outside of the US that need to like make sure that we can actually get it to them, and it's not going to be a whole headache for people that are sitting here like, why am I being charged X amount of dollars at the door just to get my damn dunks? Y'all lied to me, so it is there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I got to give the shipping people and the fulfillment team their flowers, because
They could have
Yeah, man,
shipped
I'm got
empty
so many.
samples to test this out before.
I just want to take a moment to let Kari jump in here and introduce him. He's been sitting up here for a little while, so I just want to pause the room for a second, allow Kari to say a little something, and then we can kind of jump into the big debate. Yeah.
Oh no, that's love, man. I appreciate it. I'm enjoying the conversation, but yeah, for everybody that's not familiar with me, I'm Kari. I make videos. I talk kicks from time to time on here. I'm just I'm just a little guy here that's just a part of the ecosystem at large.
Absolutely not. You are wrong about that. We've been hearing
Yo,
about you the last two calls. People
yo,
calling this dude. This is the man that needs to speak on his topic. This is the
yo.
person who needs a pair. The video. If anybody does a video, Kari needs to do it. We need to send him a pair.
That's
He's for the
crazy.
culture. Like, I mean, if you
That's
were
crazy.
gone and people were talking long periods about you, so don't say
Yeah.
no little nothing. I don't want to hear it. Now go ahead, Kari.
Yo, I appreciate those flowers. I really do, man. I'm a humble guy. But yeah, no, this is great. Let me just say this. First of all, shout to everybody up here. I've had the pleasure of speaking to a lot of people one on one. Shout to Dre. Dre got my phone number now. If I give you my phone number, I really fucks with you, because I don't be giving people my number. So yeah, shout out to Dre. Shout to Chicago. Is Chicago on the stage still? Shout to Do It Big. Um, and yeah, like I'm not the person that's gonna jump in like a bull in a china shop. I'm just as much, forget that. I'm more a student than a teacher any day of the week, especially when it comes to this space. There's a lot of experts that are far above my pay grade that know a lot more about this world, about this company, about this shoe, and about its history than I do. So you've seen me in all the spaces because I'm just soaking in the information. Now I think my role here is to kind of be one of the voices. I won't say the voice. I'm not King Sneakers, but to be one of the voices on behalf of the non-Web3 enthusiast sneakerheads, people that have not adopted the ethos of Artifact quite yet, for whatever reason. And there's a lot of reasons for that. What I'll say is that I think that this shoe is incredible. Y'all can put me on record saying that.
Definitely.
I think they did an incredible job. I think that everyone involved, all of you who are on this stage, first of all, I think that speaks a lot to the community effort as a whole. the fact that a lot of people were involved. People had their hand in design. I'm not going to name no names. I've had a couple conversations, but I know that.
Oh, did we lose him?
Uh-oh.
He was getting to the good
Yeah,
part
no,
too.
I'm here. I had a call come. Yeah,
Name the
I had a
names,
call
brother.
come
Name the
through. My bad.
names.
No. I had a call come through. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
cool. I'm gonna try to wrap this up because I know that call's probably gonna come again. But no, but I was just saying, I know there were a lot of other people, a lot more people than the people that were on behind the design that were behind the design of this shoe and of this entire rollout, right? And I acknowledge that. I think that for what the vision was, I think the vision was executed perfectly. And I think that this is probably one of the best quality sneakers, not even just dunks, that we've probably seen from Nike in quite some time. Down to the packaging, I've seen the pictures, I've seen everything, and I think they did a really, really good job with that. You guys really go up for Artifact and for this community, man. Like y'all go up in a way that I think it's off-putting to a lot of other sneakerheads how hard y'all go for this because a lot of people still look at this as some NFT bullshit. Like I'm just keeping it a bean, right? Like a lot of people just look at it as, oh, it's some fucking NFT, I don't know, whatever the fuck. I just want to go to Foot Locker and get my kicks. The shits look like Gundam. I don't really care. I can't put a fit together with it. Whatever, and like, and that's where you're gonna lose people. Everybody's not gonna jump on board, and I think it's important that like we acknowledge that. Like everybody's not gonna be on board with this, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like some people, you're just not gonna convince them. I fancy myself a storyteller. For those not familiar with me in the room, I call myself a storyteller of sneakers. I like digging into the history and the story behind sneakers, even if they're not the most aesthetically pleasing. I still find value in it if there's something that I can connect to on an emotional level, and typically that has to do with the inspiration behind it. Nigel Sylvester has a Jordan 4 coming out. It's an ugly sneaker. I like the story. I'm probably still going to buy it because I like the story behind it, respectfully. But that's not everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand that piece of it too. But my point here is, you may not be able to convince everybody to come in, but the people that are in are all the way in. And I really, really like that. I was listening to what Chicago was saying and what everybody was saying about the sneakers rollout. And I want to make sure that I understand, like, I'm going to kick this question back kind of to end my podium speech here. What was the point of only release? Okay, two questions. This is a twofold question. My first question is, what really is the point? If it's FOMO, like to drive extreme FOMO, great. Because I'm going to tell you what my conspiracy theorist head is. My conspiracy theorist head says they didn't sell all 11,000 pairs, so they drop 1,000 pairs to spike FOMO like crazy to do a third drop of Void somewhere down the line to sell out the rest. I could be wrong. I see the thumbs down. That's okay. I've been wrong plenty of times before. So if that's not the case, if they truly sold every pair of Voids and they're gone, and the last 1,000 pairs in the warehouse that Nike had to their name were dropped on sneakers today and they're gone, God bless. Congratulations. That's a W, right? And I hope for more down the future for everybody. So I guess that's my first question is, what was the point of dropping only 1,000? Because it wasn't to get them in people's hands, because that's a drop in the bucket. It wasn't to get them in people's hands, right? So like there's another reason that they're only dropping 1,000 pairs of this sneaker, of this shoe on Sneakers app. Why is that? That's my question for y'all.
Car,
Cass is the
hit it.
one.
You hit it
Oh, my
right.
bad.
They had to open 80,000. Like they had 80,000 qualified to be able to buy them. And in theory, if you take the 1,500 off, that means 9,800 were basically purchased between the community and the pre-orders, or the community
Okay.
and the public sale. So whether or not they chose to pull 1,000 so that they could create FOMO, whether or not they added 1,000 because they didn't like the numbers they were at, whether any of that, in the end, it is a FOMO fucking mechanism to keep these and drop them because we all know what sneakers does for something. But hypothetically, there could have been 1,000 on sneakers, and there still could have been 79. Well, actually, I think it was, if I'm not wrong, either 79,000 or 159,000 that they could have sold ideally. Like there was no real cap on the pre-order. So because nobody saw it on sneakers
Oh,
and
yeah.
because it was like a smaller circle, we got
Sorry.
less. That's all I was
Chicago.
getting at. So that go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry to jump in real quick. So there was a cap on the shoes, right? There's a specific number that could be ordered per NFT. And so that was the actual cap. There was only so many pairs that you could order. To make it a long story short, what was the point? It's to drive awareness. If you're bringing a new product to market and you're trying to get into the mainstream, then you need product on the biggest platform there is in order to drive that awareness. If it's only us in this room talking about it, it goes nowhere, right? If you're trying to bring in a new wave, like last year, Nike had $3 billion in fakes make it out to the market. That was 10% of the revenue they made last year, right? So the point of this whole thing is to drive awareness to a new mechanism in order to eventually have your most hype release potentially go through this, right? We see it with shoes, we see it with the clothing. So it's how do you authenticate and bring back in house um, the secondary market to some extent and allow more people, creators, to participate in the ecosystem, right? A lot of people want to collaborate with Nike, do what they got to do, and this is another way to bring that in. But with that, I'm going to pass it to Cass, who's actually on the team and can speak to this.
I mean, man, y'all make it easy between Do It Big and giving the harsh side, Heavy giving the nice and cool side of the pillow. I mean, and Kari, at the end of the day, just glad that you pull up. Everybody knows you, especially in the space as like sneaker connoisseurs. So for us, I think the end of the day, you all hit the nail on the head. It's about getting people to understand what Artifact is and what's happening. And we've talked about it on the other part of the spaces, but Nike's never really done pre-orders like this through sneakers, and a drop like this where even it is a first run of a redesign of a dunk is still very super unique. And we're seeing the conversations being spread now where everyone's like, well, are y'all in with pre-orders? Like, are we just setting up pre-order websites? Like, what's what's the deal? How are we getting this thing done? So it's definitely all taken the progression that needs to happen. It doesn't happen overnight. Nobody, like you said, is gonna just automatically change their mind from I hate these Gundam sneakers to let me get like 200 pairs. But we're gonna be out here, and it'll be cool to see how the future rolls out.
Let me piggyback off of that too, because you made a great point yourself, Kari, when you said we have sort of a cult here that can be off-putting to other people when it comes to any release that's attached to this, because they say that's just some NFT bullshit. I just want to get my sneakers from Foot Locker. Having a release on sneakers lets people know that it's more than just NFT bullshit. It gives a visibility to what's happening here within the culture and gives a bridge for other people like Jillaman to come through and be like, yo, what the hell's going on with this? I saw this on sneakers. I shot for it. I missed it. What's up with that? Can I get some more info? Right. And that's where you come in, because you're knee deep in the Twitter trenches with us daily. So you can go back with the story on your own platform and speak to your community and say, yo, I came across this company. I came across this platform. They talk about doing dope shit. It came out with this type of release, right? And it's just culture, man. I've been screaming this from the hilltops for so long. That's why I'm losing my voice now. That's the thing that's being missed in this ecosystem is the culture, because that gives everlasting life to any brand, to any project. And we need more culture here. So we're getting the awareness out there to build the culture up.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'm with you. I appreciate that. I don't want to
I
interrupt nobody. I know.
definitely,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I definitely think this is a great start. This is a super big, great start to getting the word out there and getting everyone to understand the community and like you said, the culture, man. This is big for Nike and this is big for Artifact to me.
And that speaks volumes coming from you, fam. Seeing it ground up, even with Jumpman. You see what I'm saying? So the level of innovation and elevation has to take place to make these jumps with Nike.
Definitely, definitely.
Man, how many Jumpman metaphors were you gonna throw in that one? Did
That was
y'all
a
hear that?
rap
Hey,
bar.
hey,
I'm
That
I'm
like,
on
was
my
a
yeah,
K
man.
dot.
rap
I'm on my
bar.
K dot. That's what I got to be on, man.
Rap bar.
Look, I'm gonna jump in to say one thing. The fact that John's here, Jill is here, Kari's here. Like Kari knows me and him had beef in the beginning because of a little bit of conversation, but I've grown to respect the way that he speaks on stuff. And I'll say this, of any artifact space, even in only 15 minutes, it's nice to hear the fucking rest of you guys actually being unbiased for once and talking both sides of the coin. Because I'm being real with you guys. That's the most off-putting thing that happens in Artifact. And whether or not you guys want to fucking hate on me for all the times I say it, but when nobody speaks both sides of the pillow, only one message comes out. And when people can recognize that message, they're automatically turned off by it. It doesn't matter what it is, but when nobody here acknowledges ever any of the wrongs and only talks about the rights, doesn't matter what it is, you'll never get people to adapt to it because you'll never get these people here. Like, sure, dude, mistakes were made in the fucking account some of you guys control, but like, regardless of that, like, being able to sit here and say, like, look, dude, I got opinions on stuff. Like, not much of what I say is always fact. A lot of it's opinion. You guys got an opinion, but the difference is I'm more willing to say both sides of this have a point. Same way Dre does it more than most people in here, and at least accepts like,
Stop.
nah, Dre. Well, listen, man, me and you don't talk as much. Dre, I've known fucking
Hey,
a
Dre, you
decade.
got the cat tongues though.
I've known Dre for a decade. I've known fucking
That's
Jilla for
true.
over a decade. Like, you know, call it what it is. Like, you know, that kind of stuff. But I mean, just listen, man, I don't care what it is. But in the rest of this going forward, I think the one thing you guys both got to do is realize there are two sides to a pillow, and only certain things are supposed to be right or wrong. Everything else is an opinion. An opinion can never be wrong. If I
Wait,
sit
wait,
here and
what?
say,
I missed what you said. That I what
Nail on
I
the
do
head.
the most. What do I do the most?
nah, like you're the most willing to acknowledge the other side of the pillow.
Oh, that is a fact. That's a fact. But
Like I'm
That's
not
a
saying I'm
fact.
not saying me and you are always on point with that. I do
right.
think sometimes you got a little bias, but call that what it is. You're allowed to have a little bit of it. But when stuff's just something that like, you know, pre-artifact wouldn't have like thought different or this, like look, man, I thought Drake was winning the fucking battle.
Yeah,
Kendrick won. What do you
that was
want what do you want me to
bad.
tell you? Kendrick
I
fucking
told you,
won the battle,
hey,
bro.
I told you about that in the early days. Should have listened to me. That
And
goes back to the.
before that last song fucking came out, I don't think
See,
there was a
here
clear
we.
winner. I think it was an opinion spot.
Nah, we can't
There
do
is,
this again. Y'all,
there is
y'all
no.
hijacked the
Nah, we
last
don't even have to
spaces
go into it.
for
I'm
45
giving
minutes
I'm
about
flip
Drake, and nah, y'all cannot do this to me again. This is a dunk space.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry,
but no,
that battle, we're
nah.
not getting into that
It's
today. Nah, way.
it's a
All I'm
reference
gonna
for
say,
being able to accept that sometimes your opinion can change and you
That's a
can
fact.
pivot no matter what it
yeah,
is.
That's a
That's
fact.
it.
facts. All I'm gonna say is, I mean, Chicago, you're dropping bars, so you know I gotta acknowledge that. The one thing I will say for myself though is I do things to be accurate, right? Like if you're gonna make a statement, it's got to be on point. If you're gonna make state an opinion, then you got to preface phrase that with it is an opinion, right? So when I hear you or anybody for that matter say, you know, that you could mint however many you wanted, I'm like, nah, there is facts here, right? That we have to put out there and be accurate about it because
Eighty
there's a
thousand
lot of
pairs. That's
people.
the accurate number. 20,000 plus 20,000 times
Yeah,
2.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There you go. There you
You're
go.
gonna make the price go down, Chicago.
I'm holding the most of these. I don't give a fuck about the price of these fucking
So,
things. The market sets itself. It's supply versus demand. You can have whatever supply you want.
absolutely.
Dude, I got James Harden's numbered to 100 first fucking whatever. I'll sell them to you for under retail
Bro,
because
we've
they've
been
been in
talking
my
about them
storage for
James
a year.
Hardens for
Yeah,
3
it's just a
There you
good it's
go.
just a
You
good
are not
example.
getting off those James Hardens, bro.
Yeah, dude, I
Yep.
made
3 years.
mistakes were made with the fucking credit cards I controlled.
Yo, so let's go. Let's go back to Car. Car, you was on the road, man. Keep it running, man. Keep it going.
Let's go.
Yeah, no. No, but so I'm really glad that Chicago actually just said what he said, right? Because that has been a major portion. Like I'm speaking on behalf, and I mean I think there's probably a few more people that have pulled up in here since I've been in here, and so salute to everybody that's in here. That you know now there's an audience in here of people that are willing to listen to this conversation now. You know what I mean? And so if I can be a proponent of that, great. But you know, on behalf of those people.
You
Oh,
got
he cut
mail.
off.
With the cliffhanger every time.
That's a call.
Damn, my bad. I gotta call again. My bad. I gotta call again. Hold on. Can y'all hear me now?
You got to
There we go.
tell her. You got to tell her that you're a little
Yo,
busy right now. To be honest.
please. But nah. I was just saying like, yeah, like a lot of people have been in spaces, and it feels like if you're not like saying Artifact is like the second coming of the Messiah, then you're trash. And it's like, no, like one of my first questions that I actually had that I wanted to come into the room with was, what's Artifact doing wrong? And I wanted the people in Artifact to answer that question. I mean, anybody can really answer it. Anybody wants to come up, whatever. But like, where are the gaps? Where are the problems? Where's the negative? Because all I've heard is positivity for like
Yeah, let's
hours.
hear it.
All right,
Let's
you know,
hear
wait,
it.
wait, wait,
Let's
wait.
hear
Let me,
the
let
Oh
me
negative
boy,
get,
here we
reviews.
go.
Go.
Let him loose. Let him
whoa.
loose.
Let
I'll
me
be
get this
quiet. I
one,
want to hear
bro.
you guys
No,
talk.
no, let me get, you know what? The reason why you heard positivity without avoiding your question, but just giving you a direct answer. The reason why you've heard positivity is because we've dug through the fucking trenches for the last 3 years of talking about what's been going wrong over and over and over and over again, that we had to create a community that had a ample amount of communication to be able to speak about what could we do to go right. It's
Gotcha.
Ari,
been
it was so
all,
bad that
it
these
was
were
so bad.
$60,000. These were 60 grand, and now they're down to like a grand or two. So if you want to talk about the
Straight up.
truth and the straight upness that the community has absolutely dogpiled on every single drop. Matter of fact, the dunks came
Years.
out of a thing that cost 10 grand to
No, no,
get.
no,
So
no.
if you want to,
I'm gonna give you more of a
Right.
frame.
Well, right.
They
Right.
came
Yeah.
out of a monolith. I personally sold one of those monoliths for $20,000.
Okay. So stop right there. Stop right there. Right. If you want to know the problem right now and the disconnect, it's what you just said. The big problem that a lot of people had when Artifact first came around and they first got hot, niggas couldn't afford it.
That's a
So it
fact.
looked like a bunch of rich ass niggas
It was.
dunking on Twitter.
We
And it's like,
was.
ha ha ha, you broke ass niggas
Get
can't get
him.
It
this
was. That
monolith.
was all
So we're
But
gonna
here's
Twitter.
have
y'all
these
fact.
dunks.
Get
That
And
was
now,
him.
Wait.
that.
but
That
now,
was
but now it feels like people are coming back. Like, okay,
no,
y'all
no,
will
no,
buy the
Get
no.
shoes
him.
now.
We was
I was
all
one
they
of
were
them.
all
Look at
Like,
here,
dunking,
bro.
bro.
nah,
Resale.
keep
So I
that.
I
came in
gotta tell the
October,
tape.
Kyrie.
These are
We was
I
trust fund
came in
shoes.
sorry
October.
hit it.
I
We
came in
was all
October. Like
dunking.
I'm ready.
The
Half
trust
court,
dunks.
half
So
court
they were
space
high
It was
price
jam
retail
nasty.
at
dunks.
No
retail.
they
facts.
got humbled though.
No,
Everybody
Facts.
got
but we all
humbled.
Facts.
got
That's
it.
why we here. That's why you here. That's why Chicago here. That's
But
why
not.
Jilla here. Cause we
It
got
was
humbled.
everyone. The whole NFT community has been humbled because the whole NFT community was dunking on niggas. Boy, they
Right.
was selling shit for
Yeah.
500K $1 million. We
Yeah.
could talk
Facts.
crypto punk. So yes, in
Facts.
that time frame where people were priced out, hell yeah, we was throwing shillings at the peasants and laughing, ha ha ha. And now it's a wrap. Reality, we had to dig through the trenches of that time frame. And to be real,
Yeah.
Artifact was one of the projects that went down first due to
Mm.
something that happened with the monolith. So while everybody else was still dunking on other people, they was dunking
Explain to
on us
Kari what
too.
happened with the monolith that made everybody go down
Mm.
because he
Ah,
wants examples. Let's talk about it for
nah.
a
Well,
sec.
See, that's
We
what you
yo
hear
yo
I'm
that
hold
all
on.
grumble.
ears.
why
I
we
You
know
hear
we've
gotta
that
been
You
waiting
wait
for
for
grumble.
this
that?
Nah,
day.
you got
them
100
those
I
people in
got
five
it.
and
here.
the
There's a
And we that grumble.
there's a very cheap artifact NFT called the Monolith X that Nike has for their redemption. So what
It
they
was
do with
free.
that, what they yeah, no, it wasn't free because you got it from something that cost $27,000 that came from something that cost $10,000 to $60,000. You can call it free now.
Which was
Wait,
free
which came from a
initially.
But listen, but
pigeon.
listen,
Which
Wait,
listen,
was
wait,
listen.
free.
a pigeon that was
It's
a
not
dollar
free.
But
It's
though.
only
yeah,
free if you got in
Hmm.
here before that point. When they put royalties on an
Yes.
item, you were encouraging people to buy it for the price the market was at. Therefore, it wasn't free. We can't go back to that clutch.
But the
Okay,
meta
but
pigeon
Artifact
was a
didn't
dollar.
charge $10,000. Let's we got to the only clarification I have to say because it's like if you went out and you bought obviously like any hype shoe on secondary and the price goes down and now all of a sudden you're sitting on something and if you want to move it at that other price, sorry,
No, but you can't
you
hate on
better be priced.
resellers in the secondary market when you put a royalty on something to encourage the secondary
Yeah.
market on a digital product. That's the
Very
big
true.
piece.
there's
Yeah.
no
The big
Yeah.
hating, but
Kari,
it's
what I'm
still a
trying to get at
choice.
is for the reason was the thing he sold for $27,000 popped out a fucking $15 off coupon for an $1,800 shoe, and that came with another free box that still has no purpose yet. So yes,
Sheesh.
there's a lot of reasons to
Yeah.
be negative. That's cool. Like I'm just keeping it a buck for what it is, and they can always redeem themselves. But in the
Yeah.
end, one item was to encourage secondary market selling, and one of them, and the moral here is to stop secondary market selling. So
Mhm.
because of that, you can't have the best of both worlds and then put your hands up and say not it. That's the biggest piece I had to it.
Fair.
They
Mhm.
should have sold it. If they wanted to do this and make this a membership card, you could have always made it untransferable, bound to Soul, no royalties added, and let people do what they want in the secondary market. But because you encouraged it, you got to take the wrath that comes along with it. and you can't just say it's in the past. It is in the
Well,
past,
no.
but
That's
And
forgive,
to
don't
take it back,
forget.
what we
and
saying. That's
So
just
what
the
we
Shaq,
name of
agreeing
the
to.
game, Corey. Just to go back on Web3 though. So the name of the game was lore, and a lot of these companies had to create lore without giving too much, and that's what drove price up. You see what I'm saying? So this is
Speculation.
what these type of companies was doing early on. So that's why you see BAYC. They thought they was going to get a clubhouse where it was a
Right.
club in Miami that they get all the legendary
it's still coming,
VIP
bro. It's still
white
coming.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
but no
it's still
but
coming,
this is
right?
what they were selling. So this is
Still
what they were
coming.
selling though. So this is what happened in Web3, bro, and this is where the whole Web3 got humbled because they had to take a step back and say, wait a minute, we have to actually build some shit. So this is
We have
the
to pay for
just the
this shit.
offer. And then from there, now we have the physicals. Now, BAYC is actually talking about buying RWAs is what they call them now, but real basically, properties and putting it with the actual LLC so they hold it underneath them. So
Real
this is
world
what
assets.
it's
Yeah.
real world assets is the
Real
RWA. I
world
didn't want to go.
assets is another
Mhm.
thing to say Web 2. They just
Yeah,
put a fucking
and
new
that's
Mhm.
another
fancy
way.
word to
Mhm.
It's
fucking
another
sell
way
people
to
on this
say
shit.
real estate.
The
It's
It's
called the
another way to
world
say real
before Web
estate.
3.
Short Tory, hey, real estate. That's all it is, bro. It's another way to say real estate. But it's
My
just
Red Octobers
on
are
blockchain.
RWAs, bro.
Yeah, all
That's a fact.
on blockchain.
There
So
you
that's where
go.
we're at with it. But that's so
At
people
the
people
end of the
sold the
day,
secondary, and that's what it was.
wait. Let's go to
The
the
one
end.
thing I'll
Let's
say,
go
at
to
the
the
end of
end.
the
Let's
the
go to
day,
main
the end.
issue is they played this one for royalties, which was to encourage the secondary market. When royalties died, they had to change the narrative, and I'm fine with having to change the narrative. But when you do push it for royalties to build with, you have to take all the smoke that comes with the mistakes. That's it.
It was hella
and
smoke.
they
The
did,
point
and
is
they
the
did,
point is to
and they
ask your
did.
question again and be direct.
Smoky.
It was hella fucking smoke. So we've been smoked house, smoked
Man.
steak, smoked message. It's smoked out in this bitch. It's been super smoky in this
It's
motherfucker.
mesquite. We got we got
420
My
every
Oh,
day.
bruh.
my lungs
Yeah.
are ruined, y'all. I got
Not
therapy
mesquite.
bills to pay for, all that.
It's
Yeah, I know y'all
crazy.
been through a lot. I know y'all been
Not
through a lot.
I just like to acknowledge it's
Um,
Men's Mental Health Month, so it's okay, you guys. Let it all out. You can talk
Let
there
it
about
you
go.
mental
Let
go.
health.
it go.
thank you,
There you
But
go.
now we're here though,
A month
Kari, to
long.
the shoot, to the deliveries, and they've been here with the crypto kicks going into the
Mhm.
forces, and now you're here to the dunks, and now we're on the what Uncle Chrissy said on the last space, which was dope. It was a Super Bowl release. This is the Super Bowl. The sneakers app is the Super Bowl of sneakers. Like when you get
Yeah.
on there, so that's where we're at now. So and then moving forward, I think we're just putting on our tinfoil hat. Moving forward, we might see different releases like this. They might be a little bit more transparent to Chicago, saying, hey, look, we're locking up 2,000 for sneakers app, but you can get your pre-order now. You see what I'm saying? Like it might can fold into that, and these are the things that maybe they can work on because there's always room for improvement, and that's what we're seeing now.
Right.
Like even with the shipping, what Chicago is saying, there's a just to it, maybe seeded out to celebrities and team members because team members are involved into this whole development. They
Yeah.
deserve to get that grand opening too, but then also have all
100%.
that coming before the public gets it and things like that. Like there's room for improvement there as well. You see what I'm saying? So
we gotta let Kari jump in, and then also JD's arms about to fall off, so we gotta let him speak and say something too. So Kari, go ahead, hit it, and then pass it to JD, please.
That she
Or,
is
or no,
yeah, I
vigilante
couldn't
with the mute button.
I
I
couldn't
I
even
need
see.
it.
I didn't know JB was gonna
You
Oh,
say
okay.
muted
Oh,
something.
yeah.
everybody.
Everybody
That's
got
what
muted.
happened.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. No. So just to wrap what I was saying. So yeah. So my final piece on this, and because I definitely want to hear from JD, is so with the sneakers drop and with the way that they released the Voyage, not needing the NFTs, is the future, does that look like more drops where you're not going to need to own any other digital assets? Because that's there's two pieces that are the problem here if you're trying to translate and bring more people into this world. Number one, people just don't understand or don't want to understand the digital collectible as a whole. I don't want to own shit to be able to buy shit. I'm used to going, I've been going to Foot Locker for 30 years. I walk in, I give you my money, I walk out. Right? It's a stretch for me to even do this sneakers raffle EQL shit. But I guess I gotta do it if it means that I'm going to get my shoe. Now you want me to own some shit that I'm not gonna use. I'm not gonna put in no game. I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna put these sneakers on my Fortnite character. Right? I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of people. Right? So like, is the idea here that they're gonna have more drops where you don't need that digital collectible? And if that is the case, right, like then what's the point of it all? Like, or are they trying to
That was
just
a
capture
bar.
both?
No, that was a bar. I like
Love
that
it.
that insight. Let me speak to that real quick before we go around. ownership is what Web3 is all about, man. So I understand people want to stay away from that because it might seem like an extra hurdle to be a part of something. But the flip side of that coin that I would bring up to you as a point is, how many people do you know that pay $99 a year to go to Costco or Sam's Club to get everything else that they're looking for wholesale prices, right? Or to make sure that they can get a guaranteed quantity of that one thing for a cheaper price, or just to know that they're gonna get it. It's a business practice that's been proven time and time again, and that's part of the buying something to buy something. I think it's just how
Now,
it's labeled and presented to
The
people
barrier is the
for people to
chain, not
be
the
able
membership.
to.
Just so you know.
Oh,
well, what
100.
about
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and
now?
I can agree with that.
Now the dunks. Here's another thing though. They've now they when you go to scan the RFID, now you're claiming a collectible of the void. Which what if that gives you two allow lists, one that you can send to a friend, and then one that for you, right? So already you're claiming it. Nike's already passed. They're paying for the gas fees, so it costs you $0 to claim, $0 to authenticate, and there's also the swoosh accounts that you could theorize is like the simplified wallets that you enter through an email address, and then maybe you can take it off chain with the seed phrase and all that. But the point is, the infrastructure is certainly being built, and so does that make you feel differently that all these people who did catch a dub, who is not in Web3, who don't know anything about it, are going to scan the heel? And when they scan that, that is their certificate of authenticity, like trying to sell a Rolex without the certificate, right? They claim that, but what if that gives them access to give a friend access to the next drop? And does that change anything if they pay $0 to claim that, and that comes with the shoe?
So let me answer that real quick. So the latter part of that, to your average sneakerhead, and y'all please in the audience, whatever, correct me if I'm wrong. The latter part of that statement holds a lot more weight than the first half of it. Most people don't give a
So,
shit about authenticity of the artifact dunk right now. If you find a way to translate that into the shoes that niggas really want, if you put that chip inside of the Travis Scotts, jackpot. If you put that chip inside of the shit that niggas really want, jackpot. And if this is a test run to see to perfect the technology so that you can put it into future drops, fantastic. But it's not like niggas don't care. Like niggas don't care about the like I'm just not y'all.
Well,
I know y'all do. I know
Well, but
y'all do.
Artifact is an R and
Nah,
D lab that's owned by Nike. Okay,
right.
and also it does not mean that basically you couldn't have where now all of a sudden these passes grant you a guaranteed dub on a partner release, right? Like the Nina Chanel's or something like that. And so absolutely it's being tested on a small demographic who understands the technology. We beat them up all day and voice our opinion on Twitter and tell them what's wrong with it. And then they fine tune the process, the infrastructure, and they actually update it and change it. So it's absolutely a live beta test, R&D these mechanisms from authentication, which have patents that are registered patents for authentication, for drop mechanisms, for all the things that you're discussing right now. So
Okay.
certainly, what if it gave you access to a pair of Jordans, or if it gave you a pair of fragments or something like that? But first, you had to get the dunks or whatever pair. It's certainly all. There's even patents on the gamifying. And there's even a move to earn aspect that they're trying to do where you play basketball for a certain amount of hours, and maybe that gives you a guaranteed dub on the next sneaker drop. So there's
Yeah.
certainly
Similar.
Artifact is owned by Nike. That
Right.
should be said.
Right.
the,
Similar.
the
Right.
Look, and
barrier
Right.
I'm
the
gonna jump in
barrier is
off of
the
that too.
chain.
It's
Everything else
similar.
is
That
right.
move to earn mechanic, similar to how they used to have those beacon drops where if you were in a certain area. Think about that too. That's part of the patents that was in the sneakers. You have a Bluetooth capability where you're in a specific area. It opens up certain drops for you just because you're in that area and you're wearing that specific pair of shoes. So I know it can get really deep, pause, and kind of nerdy, and that turns things off for a lot of people. But the technological advancements are the things that take it to the next level. And people, they want that access, man. Like, How hype were people when there was that Complex Con in 2017, whenever that was, when Jerry dropped his yellow version of the Air Fear Gods, and you had to be
Hmm.
around just to get that. That was that exciting time. That's when
Oh yeah.
this was on
But don't
top of
forget, most
shit.
of most of those got hit by people spoofing their fucking phones from
I
home
mean,
and
yeah,
letting
yeah. I'm
somebody
just
else
saying.
Yeah,
pick
and I
them
was
up.
pissed because I
Let's
was
keep it
in
a buck. I was
Chicago.
standing next. I was
I
standing
I
next
was
to
couldn't get it
Jerry
there,
with the
either.
flags on
and
the
I didn't.
street,
Yeah, I
I
and
didn't
I
get
get
didn't
it.
get
them.
a
I get it.
pair.
I get it. But I'm
I was
saying
out
that
there with the. I was in Chicago when that happened. I was there that year, and I still
Well, then
didn't
I
get
got a
them shits.
picture
I
of
was
you
pissed.
holding
but
the
the
fucking
point was
flags,
you had
walking
the
down fucking in
access.
front of McCormick.
You had the access to get the sneaker. That's what I'm saying. This
Yeah,
provides
yeah.
the access in that specific, special kind of way that you hold on to.
Hmm.
All
Hmm.
right, we
You
got
know,
JD with
the
the
key is
hands
the
off.
RFIDs in this thing, and the chain is the blocker, and eventually it'll come off, and eventually it goes to mainstream adoption. And I get what you guys are all saying, but that's what I've said the whole time: is that on the shoe side, forget the digital side, the key has always been the RFID and the ability to authenticate so that they can forget that they can charge StockX, but so that StockX doesn't have to let new employees verify something because there's a chip. And in the future, absolutely, if you can tap your phone to your shoe and get the next pair, 100% agree. But that's still not going to get Kari past
That's
the hurdle.
super
It's
cool.
not going to get
Super
Kari
cool.
past the hurdle of MetaMask. That's the number one thing
Right.
that like
Nah,
everybody's
facts,
got to
facts.
agree on.
Those are things that
I got MetaMask. I got a wallet.
But what
yeah, don't
about
stand
Dot
them down.
Let's
Swoosh with an
fucking
email
go.
address?
We
But
got
yo, we
dot
need to
dot
let
I
JD.
got that swoosh.
We
Yeah,
gotta let JD in, and we gotta let Zayd talk and
yeah.
give some more
Please.
opinions.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Y'all can hear me?
They can take my mic. They can take
Yes,
my
sir.
mic.
Can y'all hear
Jilla,
me?
salute, my brother.
Y'all can hear
Yes,
me?
sir. Ari, I spoke
Yeah, we can
highly
hear you,
of you,
JD.
All
man.
right.
Like I
My
said,
G.
keep doing your thing, man. And they definitely need to get a pair in your hand so you can tell the story on them.
Dre,
We
make it
working.
happen.
We hey, see, tell them. Kari, let them know that I've been working in the streets. They don't believe me, cuz. They
No,
don't
Dre,
believe
yeah,
me.
yeah. No, Dre, a real one. I know he working on it. We'll see.
Thank
We'll
you.
see what happens. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, what's up, everybody?
What up, JD?
JD, what's
What up? What up?
good?
So, I'm coming at this from a purely sneaker side of things. I don't think I own any NFTs, and if I did, it was by creating like a dot swoosh account or something like that. I'm not sure if that came with an NFT. I have no idea. But so, like for me, this whole drop was a win because it made me more interested.
Oh, that was me, man. My bad. That was a big, big thumb slip. My fault.
Man, not you cutting my man's
I'm
off.
sorry, bro. That was, you know what?
You
My
don't
left
like
hand.
NFTs? Mute.
I'm good. I'm
Jeez.
good with my right
This
hand,
is
He
not
what
my
they
said
were
left
right,
talking
hand.
right
about,
at that
Dre.
moment too.
Dang.
My bad, bro.
JD,
My
keep
bad.
going.
Running back. That's on me. That's on me. That's me. My fault, player.
All right. So no, so I'm saying like I'm interested. It's a for me it's a W because it makes me more interested even though I'm not in the NFT side of things, right? And I'm still trying to learn and understand it. And so like seeing how it went as a pre-order like with like Nike engaging that with respect to this new product type, right? So I'm like, okay, well, it's a new thing, NFT, new thing, or if not new, rarely used thing with pre-order. But then like some of the other conversations take place, right? And so then it just alerts me to how much I don't know, right? Like it's like really concerning, right? And it's not, well, not concerning because I can't learn it because I'm sure that I can, but it's kind of like when the conversation unfolds, there's like all these different layers to the NFT side of thing and blockchain and you didn't pay, you did pay and why, right? Like it's kind of like to me not simplified enough for me to say like, all right, I'm going to do this to get my sneaker and are all these other things risks for me? Like what's going on right here? Right? And on the other side of it, it's kind of like, all right, well, is it the have nots? Like you had to have $20,000 to get in, or if you didn't get in on a $3 level. Like, how does that complicate this for me on this drop? Like, is that did that play any role whatsoever, or was that totally separate? Right? Was that just like a whole NFT ownership thing that was separate from any relationship to any of the sneaker drops, or is that something that we missed the boat on that we should have been in on and we need to pay more attention now? Like, how does that play a role?
So
You won't be
Dutchy,
able.
can
You
I?
won't be able to get two colors of it based on the fact that you didn't own an NFT. The other two were public. The white pair and the pair that came out today, anybody had access to if you paid attention to sneakers and whatever they dropped. The other two pairs were exclusive for the people. So if you want the red and black pair, or you want the pair that came out that was silver that you see people posting, you had to own an NFT. And whether or not that NFT was $100 now, or it was something that you got for free if you had a $20,000 or $60,000 that came with another thing that came with another thing, yes, you did have to participate in that whole ecosystem to have those two pairs or pay resale.
Got it. Right.
Oh,
And so to
JD.
me, that's like the complicating factor, right? Because like I know that there was a pre-order, and I know that this is like the drop today of the 1,000 pairs or whatever that was. And so to me, those seem like the things that I understand best, right? I didn't get the pre-order, so that's my L. I hold that permanently, right? I didn't get it today. That's my L. I also hold that one. But is there this whole other secret society thing happening, right? That I never had a shot at because I wasn't in an NFT 2 years ago, right? Like, so that's what I'm kind of trying to understand. But then I think that's also like part of bringing people along in the conversation, right? Because I think there are probably easier ways to explain it.
Yeah, I can maybe
Yeah.
speak to this a little bit. I think that there's varying point of views because people got into different times, like parts of the timeline. So like to go back a little bit, when Artifact first started dropping NFTs, they did the Jeff Staple piece, and there was a Meta Pigeon that they dropped for $1. And so obviously those on any type of there's McDonald's toys with Cactus Flea Plant, that flea market, that were free to claim, and then now they're selling for $1,000 on eBay, right? So you're always going to have that kind of market. And so what happened was, then those dollar NFTs, we'll call it, then the price went crazy on them, and those gave you access to what you see a lot of us wearing, the Murakami characters, which then become like sort of like the golden pass of this ecosystem. So there are people who paid $200. We gave you a allow list to get one for 0.05, which is like roughly like $250, and you could mint up to, I think, 3 or 5 of them. And then there were people who couldn't get in, right, because they didn't get that dollar one. And just like on eBay with anything else, a limited drop of sneakers, a cause statue, you name it, there are people who are willing to pay more for it, right? So then, of course, as the hype increased, now the prices of clones went from this. Now there was just a reverse Dutch auction where people who did not have the allow access ended up having to pay a multiple ETH for it, which is like a couple $1,000s. Which, if you do spread that across a year or two, guaranteed dubs and some sneaker drops, is it's part of a membership, and there's more to it, commercial rights, etc. I won't go into it, but the whole point is that now you have those people who get those Dunk VIP passes, right? And however much they paid for it, or if they got it for free, then some people sell them, right? So imagine these VIP passes, guaranteed dubs, hit eBay again, and some of them sold for a lot, and some of them sold for very little. And so you have people who got them for free. You got some people who paid a couple $100 for them. You have some people who paid 10 grand for them, right? So you have varying experiences. And so now you have the Dunks and all of the other colors that have a free digital collectible that's claimed. So now those people who paid maybe $222 at ComplexCon have a free digital collectible. It is free, but then if it comes out that 2 months down the road that it gives you access to a pair of Jordan 1s or something, right, then that free claim that you could scan on the NFC on the back of the shoe may grant you some super hype release. Well, guess what's going to happen to that free NFT? You can either hold on to it and get access to that dub, give it to a friend, a family member, or sell it for $1,000, $2,000, depending on what the market will demand for it. So, of course, the people who paid a lot for that golden pass are more upset than people who, got it for free or got it for cheap. So that's why you have a range of experiences, and it's the same with any collectible, any item that's ever been sold on secondary. You have the people who were there, and then you have the people who got it for free or got a plug, or who paid out the ass and feel sour about it. So that's all I want to
Got it.
say about it. That's how it works.
No,
Also,
okay.
I do want Zayd to be able to speak as well, because he actually worked with Artifact early on. He had his own colorway before they were even acquired by Nike, and he is on the stage. So I do want to also give him opportunity to speak. So
Sure.
just be respectful. Not you, JD, but I just
Mhm.
mean everyone. I just want to keep it rotating to everybody to get a diverse amount of opinions.
Absolutely. So let me just add this last part in there, right? Because what you just described to me makes me feel like I wish I would have won sooner, right? Like, knowing that, then that increases my awareness into the visibility of things that may come up next. But like that, I kind of feel like that wasn't told as part of the story,
You
right?
saved a lot of money by missing out on the beginning. Don't worry about it. I promise.
Oh, no, for
Nah, wait,
sure. But I'm
or
talking
you could
about,
have
but
made a lot of money depending on the time you sold. Just right, it's the same thing.
yeah,
If
Hey, there's
if you
people who got
got
him for 200 and sold it for 60 grand. So it depends on who Who are you
Nobody
talking
got
about?
anything for
That's
200 and sold it for 60 grand.
I bought my clone for 8,000, sold that bitch for 60 grand. So it was,
Correct.
it
But
was
who
8,000,
had
not 200.
$8,000? That was
Exactly.
my
Dre,
point.
Dre
This would be
Millie
like
had eight. You know what I
imagine if
mean?
Reggie did a Dutch auction to get on the Jordan friends and family list. Some people are on it for free. Imagine if they gave them all a token and told all the people that are cousins and brothers of everybody in the family that they can sell their pass. I'd be the first one buying somebody's pass
But
off them,
but
but it doesn't make it the
Oh, that's
same.
real.
but you didn't
Yeah.
need a clone. All you needed to do is buy the Dunk NFT, and you could have got the shoes. If we're talking about sneakers here,
Or the
nobody
dollar
needed a
meta
fucking
pigeon.
clone.
$1 meta
Yeah,
Nobody
pigeon.
listen,
needed a clone.
I bought all my shoes by buying a $200 NFT at the time. I justified it,
Yeah,
divided by 4 pairs. That's $40 premium on every pair, and I bought 100 of the Dunk NFTs to buy the shoes.
and you got five per every fucking order, five per every NFT.
And
Correct.
you got
And I would
300
say
pairs.
technically you got to break it down divided by 3 because 2 of them I didn't even need it for. So in theory, I paid a $70 premium per pair, but that's my experience. If you bought it 2 months before that, you paid a $300 premium per pair. If you got in early, you can justify it as free, but you bought a $10,000 NFT that got you a free NFT that got you a free NFT that you chose not to sell at the top, etc. So
But
everybody's
that's
got a
the
different
free
spot.
and that's the free and open market. There's people who spent multiple thousands of dollars on certain dunks, and then the market went down. Right? It goes up, it goes down.
Embracing the secondary is the key of all this.
Oh, it's embraced.
The
Facts.
secondary is not bad. Resellers are not bad. You can't be bad in one column and good in another. If you can sell your NFT that gets you a shoe, you can sell the shoe, and nobody should get hated on for either one of those things.
There's zero
God bless
hate.
resellers.
Zero.
No,
God
I'm not talking
bless
about you. I'm
them.
not talking
I
about
didn't
you
even say that.
specifically.
All
I
right,
don't
No,
mean
no,
you
no.
because
specifically.
You make a good
No, no,
point.
no.
We need it. Yo, big Chicago, we need you for Zade's lawyer, man, because you'll say that, man. Let's go to Zay. Zay, what's good?
Man, y'all talking about L's on these shoes. I hit an L on the 1998 Brazil retro jersey, and I'm salty as hell about that. Um, nah, but jokes aside, man, if you have the plug for that, let me know. Anyways, DUTCHEE, man, you just explained the whole fucking thing real perfectly right now to JD. I think, honestly, this space in particular has been the most level-headed, most clear space out of on this topic out of all the fucking spaces ever hosted, and I really appreciate that. And I just wish more people like Jilla were in here that are like, kind of in the know but don't really know and are interested. And I think that we need to find a way. Obviously, this is a way to do it, but I don't know. I'm glad it's being recorded, but yeah, this has to be like the most level-headed conversation ever, and it's actually pretty fucking refreshing, to be honest, because like like they were saying earlier, like sometimes it is kind of like not annoying, but it's like, damn, like only one side is being heard while the other side's not being heard, and it's it's pretty cool to be actually level-headed right now.
That's exactly why we reached out to Kari and pretty much been trying to invite anybody who's not part of the scene. And there's probably more people we could be talking to. This is the second spaces in a row if you didn't catch yesterday's. But yeah, we definitely been trying to reach out and get a real honest opinion from everybody. And so, and I don't think that this is like the one and only. It'd be many more because the one thing that I was trying to like I got from JD and other people yesterday when we were speaking is that I don't think a lot of people realize that some of us have been sneakerheads and sneaker collectors who used to line up for the drops and sleep outside and all that and happen to go into this new Web3 sort of aspect. But it doesn't make us different. We're actually more alike than we are different. But somehow we've created these two silos where it's like y'all these like techno nerds, and the truth is that we've been buying the same sneakers, the cause drops, the Merikamis. Like we literally are traditional sneakerheads who started using the computer and finding out a new tech. So I really think that it's important that we clearly communicate and invite both sides of the opinion. Chicago, I completely agree with you. And we can, we want to open that door and build bridges, and there'll be a lot more of that moving forward. I do want to ask you, Zaid, because you worked with Artifact early on, and you maybe have a perspective that other people don't. And also, your shoes were digital first that you worked with Artifact. This was like, I think, pre-Nike acquisition. And then your sneakers became physicals that were claimed. So it's almost like as if that original run back in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, those were super limited. but now it's sort of now scaling up to sneakers and it's getting a worldwide audience. So like, how do you view this drop? And aside from the fact that you might have caught a L, funny enough, how do you feel about this whole from the, you've worked on the inside, I guess, and collaborated with Artifact, seen your things come to life. People tried to cop them. They paid varying prices. And now we're here, right? And now it's a global audience. So how are you feeling about that?
Wait, Zay. Before you go, I'm gonna let you finish. But we don't have an extra slot for co-hosts, so we can't have that many people on stage. So the people who are requesting, hold up. We're gonna get you up here. We're gonna rotate some people up the stage and get new people up here so they can speak. So Keely, I want to hear you speak too, because I know you got knee
Oh,
deep in
Big
the
Key
game. I
coming
want
up?
to. Yeah. We gotta get her up. We gotta
Okay.
get her up.
All
So
right.
yeah. Go ahead, Zay. Do your thing.
You know the old saying, and it kind of feels like, where some of us had to walk so others can run, and it's just timing. It came down to timing. I I obviously think in my mind, obviously I'm really grateful that like I can say I have like an official Nike artifact shoe. Um, but at the same time, yeah, because it was so early on that it didn't get like the hype or whatever that I wish it would have gotten. Uh, and to put it to more perspective, like my shoe, there's only 18 pairs total in the world, which makes it even. You guys are talking about fucking limited with these dunks. Yeah, that's real limited right there. Um, but so yeah, it's just one of those things where unfortunately, it was like a timing thing. But it is cool to see how it's sure slowly but surely it's growing and it's getting bigger and it's getting out there, and it's exciting to see where this goes because hopefully in the future there's more opportunities for other creators to do what I did, and maybe they'll have like release on Sneakers app and be able to get their stuff out there more in the world. But but yeah, man, it's just one of those things where it just came down to timing. But at the end of the day, I guess I'm part of the fucking lore now. I'm part of the Nike history with this company, so that's pretty cool. So
And
I,
you have a trait inside the clones, which is a Murakami,
yeah, earlier
that
you
too.
guys were saying that all of these were by Murakami. Let me talk my shit a little bit. Some of those things are actually mine, like a couple traits, not much, but some of them were actually designed by me. So it's not all
Talk your shit.
Murakami.
Talk your shit. Which ones? Which
Talk
ones?
big
That's
shit, baby.
fire. That's fire. That's what's up.
The beads
Nah, because I
around
gotta I
the
gotta
neck.
sit here. Fucking Murakami's a Murakami, right? No, can't hate on him wherever, but I gotta sit here like kind of in the background, be like, that meme where like, damn, they don't know I worked on, they don't know I did this or whatever. Like, yeah, like I actually have some fucking traits on the fucking project too. So it's like some of that shit is actually mine.
All right, give me props. I called it out. I'm the one who called it out.
Nah, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's exciting to see all this shit, and you know what? It's actually kind of like maybe Chicago might not like this statement, but it was actually kind of like funny and refreshing seeing like resellers that I follow or whatever kind of take the L's and like kind of complain it's because it was like the shoe was flipped or whatever, and it was like I like sneaker. I don't know if I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with Sneaker Twitter, the page on here on Twitter. Like that's my homie. And so I keep up with Sneakers a lot through his page, and I was just seeing like the responses that he got when he posted the shoes, and a lot of them were L's, and a lot of the people that were hitting the L's were people that I know are resellers. So it was kind of like inside, I was like, aha, how do you feel now? Type of like, I'm always taking the L's, like trying to do this shit. So it was kind of like refreshing. And another thing I want to say too, because there is like a disconnect between like the original sneakerheads and like people now. Like a lot of these people in this project, like some of these sneakers are their first like real like streetwear sneakers ever. So it's they're getting into this culture and they're getting exclusive shit that original sneakerheads can't get. So I think maybe that's causing a little bit of like damn, like I'm an OG sneakerhead. Like how come I'm not getting these? Like, but then these new guys are here like getting this shit. So it's and there might be some of that shit going on in the background too. But at the end of the day, we all gotta just kind of like embrace all this shit. Like homie was saying earlier, this is the future, and we just gotta roll with it or get left behind.
Type shit.
Facts. Key Lee, I want to go ahead and give you a chance to speak. You're new up on the stage, and people seem to know you. So go ahead. First? Did you cop a L or a dub? That's all I got to know first.
No, I
Keely,
didn't.
I'm gonna let you finish, but everybody else got to pay attention. My man skipped all of these hands to get you to go.
Oh,
What?
Type
okay,
shit.
wow. Does that mean I'm special?
That's
Type
exactly what it
shit.
means. Fire it up.
100.
I mean, well, to be fair, like I feel like all right, because that's gonna sound crazy. I think it's good that I go first just because it's a lot of men in here. So me being a woman, I feel like I'm kind of speaking for the women that probably have no idea what the fuck is going on because I'm still lost on a lot of shit. So that was one of my questions that I wanted to start out with. So my question was, do you have any, I guess, women in your team that would be able to, I guess, push this more to the regular like female consumer? Because listening to this, like if you're not into Web3 or any of this shit, like you're literally like lost.
There's
No, I agree.
definitely multiple female team members, and they always provide on all the sneaker drops on the last three silhouettes, meaning 14 Air Force Ones, the self lacing, and then now the 6 colorways of Dunks. All of them come in a full, female range to a full like giant Dre Millie size foot, and Do It Big Chicago size foot. But also the clothing as well ranges from, it's very like a unisex clothing as well, and those also have the self-authenticating RFID that you scan with your phone. It shows you that it's authentic, and they model it with women as well. You have many female, and actually some of the community managers or the people who lead the Twitter spaces is mostly all female. So certainly it's not an all male dominated space. Even the characters that you see us wearing, they're at least over like 50% female, and also like non-gendered as well. So like there's definitely a diversity in like skin color as well in these characters, and that gives you access to certain sneakers, certain colorways, all that stuff. So just it's certainly diverse in that way. But can we put you in contact with someone to better explain it? Absolutely. And should we have more female leaders bridging the gap? 100.
Hey, let me pick it back off of that. So I'm also putting together a list to increase the awareness to the people who are tapped into the sneaker culture, including the Sneaky Leak podcast. If people understand and know who that is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we tapping into all of that. So I
Nice,
myself
Shout out to
nice,
have
Sneaky
my
nice.
my
League. Those are
head.
the
We
homies.
love them.
Yeah,
Shout out to
those are
them.
homegirls. Yeah, they yelled at me at a couple of eBay invite only parties because I didn't let them jump the line and cut in front of me. But that's a whole nother story. But what
Hey,
I'm saying
yo.
is that the point is the ears to the ground. People are tapped into the culture either as individuals or as a community as a whole. So yes, to answer your question, we are incorporating so many more because we want to have that many different diverse voices and perspectives from different individuals and different communities as well.
Yeah, because I love the shoe. Steph actually posted hers today. The gray with the like bluish check or whatever. Like that's my favorite one that dropped or whatever. Didn't do the pre-order, didn't do any of that. But I guess like I think for someone like me, like for example, Dot Swoosh, that just seemed more simpler, right? Like they let us buy a freaking box for $19, whatever cents or whatever, and then you get to choose your box. That was cool, but then they actually came out with 2 shoes. Like it just seemed more simpler, and something like this is just way more complex. And in my head, I'm just like, I don't know if a lot of women are gonna really want to sit down and be on some okay, I'm going to learn the NFTs and then everything else y'all was talking about. My mind was just like, okay, this is a lot. It's a lot of information, you know?
No, it's a big fact, and that's something that even people who are part of the community is like, what the fuck is going on right now, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
the reason why we have spaces like this, and we've had daily spaces that will come and show up, so people, if they had any questions, they can come up and say, all right, so what's next? What I see we're doing this, and this is coming up. This is the next forge. This is our next opportunity to buy this or to be a part of this experience. What do we do? How do we do this? How do we move on? But the main point behind all of that is just effective communication. So with us as a community, being able to integrate more communities like yours, like Kari's, like Do It Bigs, like everybody's, we can sit down together and have this open space to discuss it and gain more understanding in different perspectives.
Got you. I feel like I had two more things. One, I'm gonna press you real quick because then we used to follow each other. You want to follow
Damn,
me?
you
You got
gonna
a
do
problem with
not
me?
not in front of the homies though. Not
Hey,
in front
yo,
of
what
the
happened there?
homies.
What
Damn. You
happened?
know the way. You know what though? For real, what happened
Let's
on
talk
my
about
side?
it.
For real, the way that my checking is. Nah, but for real, I didn't even know you knew that I was following you. You know what I mean? She ain't gonna miss this one. You know what I
She,
mean?
she
I
said she
check
was peeping.
everything.
Wow.
She ain't
That man
not in
couldn't
front
even
of the
get an
homies.
answer out. He was like, hey, damn,
You know
I didn't even
what?
realize that
You
that
know
man changed the
what?
subject. That's
Nah, let me.
crazy.
Nah, see, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm following you right now. I don't know what happened on your side. Then maybe that's a
Oh
glitch. Free and
yeah,
clear. You
yeah.
know what
That's
I'm saying?
now it's a glitch. Okay,
That's
you got
crazy.
it.
It's crazy how that works, right?
Kari, I swear it was a
That's
glitch. Kari,
that's
I
how they
swear
do
it
in
was a
Queens. Yo,
glitch.
listen, that's Queens. Queens is in the building. That's Far
Yo,
Rockaway
stop
right there,
playing
my
with
guy.
me. Stop playing with me.
Like, she gonna call it out every time.
Every time. But no, this is great. I'm looking forward to learning more about this for sure. Because I love what y'all did with the sneaker. To Kari's point, I think for the vision and everything that y'all did, I think y'all nailed it 1,000%. So this is exciting.
Well, let me just say this, like, like our community, like that's a part
Oh
of this
wait,
are
that's what
very,
I was gonna say. I
yeah,
don't want to
go
cut you.
for it.
I don't want to forget it. I'm glad y'all got humbled too, because y'all was wilding on Twitter for a minute.
Hey,
Yeah,
yo,
That's a fact.
but
what?
That's a fact.
yo, so let me say this though, like for example, JD came on yesterday, and that's why I wanted to have him up there as well because he was like kind of keeping it real about wanting to understand better and all that. And so the people in this community who understand the technology, they they actually like if you ask anybody, they will spend like hours trying to like not that it would take hours, but my point is that people feel so passionately about it. It's probably the way you would feel if somebody's like about to do their first sneakers app drop, then you would be like, yo, hold on, let me show you. Let me pull out the app. This is a draw. You got 10 minutes. You got to do this. And so we feel the same way. So it's just that, a lot of times you got people who are dunking on you where like if you look on the world scale, most of the time people say NFT's a scam. That shit is bullshit. It doesn't do nothing. You're buying a JPEG. And so obviously that kind of puts people in a space of defense. But I promise you, that if you DM anybody on the stage or who looks like they're part of that space, and you say, hey, how do I get involved with this? Which was I forgot the other dude's name, but he was trying to ask some questions as well. And we spent the time to break it down from the beginning and everything. He was like, oh, I'm starting to get it. So all I want to say is like people are really passionate to educate and teach people that it's not stupid and that there is like an actual use case. The technology solves authentication. It solves some of the drops getting botted, and there's more to it as well. But to say that it's not a community that wants to be a silo, and that's why we're doing these spaces. But if you DM anybody, they'll probably. We were just saying earlier that the dude didn't catch a dub, and then somebody Baron was like, yo, I got you. Hit me in the DMs and I'm going to send you a pair. So I just want to set that tone that nobody wants to be us versus them. If anything, it's the opposite because some of us have been collecting sneakers for 20, 30 years. We're not like this, like random, internet people who don't know nothing about sneakers. Some of us used to line up, used to go to certain zip codes to get a colorway. There was no internet. Do you get me? So let's just set that straight that we're not this separate group of people. We're more the same than we are different, right? So ask anybody, they'll help you. And if they don't, then, we're going to block them or something. No, I'm just kidding.
We done with 'em. All right, cool. Let's go to the
All right,
hand so we
cool.
can get the clearing going. So let's go with Kaz. Let's go Tevy. Then let's go do it, Big Chicago. When we keep it like Kaz is good with keeping it short, right? Like we don't want no long windedness. I'm gonna get the wrap it up box pinned to the top, man, because we got to get some people rotated
And
up.
for perspective, Cass works on the Artifact team. So y'all know.
So he's the guy that you need to DM with any questions or anything that you want. Blow it up. He got you.
Nah, I put my hand up originally to flex to tell y'all that I got my shoes, but then I was like, wait, I can't just like I gotta say something like smart because this is a great
That's
conversation.
dirty.
Yeah.
That's super dirty.
wait, come on, y'all. Do it big. He was the only reason I got my shoes because he said the team got their shoes early, and so now I finally got them. But anyways, what JD was what y'all been talking about, especially JD. He was mentioning a lot of stuff around the tech, and I feel like we did talk a lot of like the whole backstory. And shout out DUTCHEE. He was given like A100 plus level, explanations in the best way. But at the end of the day, it's still like, it's a process. And so people are inevitably not going to get involved because there is a process. And some people are just, that's just how it is. Like, there's always going to be people late to things. And I think for me, especially, it reminded me of when, bots became the biggest thing. And I was trying to learn how to set up Supreme bots. And then I bought the bot, but then I didn't have a node and I couldn't run this shit. And it's like, brother, like, what am I doing out here trying to just, cop a dub on a Thursday or something like that? Like, I should just go back to class. Like, so it's the same thing here. People are just learning that, oh, wow, there's a new method. This stuff is a lot less risky too than a bot because, you guys know how that goes. Like, things get updated, people you gotta start cooking with your dev or whatever. You gotta get updates of your own. So this is way different. Artifact will put out official information saying, hey, these collectors have access. Here's the information on how the, purchasing will go down. And over time, as a lot of people have seen, like, I came into the space, I wasn't really a fan at first because they weren't doing digitals or physicals right away. I saw the Jeff Staples sneaker and I was like, all right, this makes sense. Like, this is where things are going. And since then, it's just kind of just smoother sailing, and we're going to keep it rolling. It's going to be fun to see, but I'm going to stop rambling. This has been a dope combo. I just want to just listen in now.
Cool beaneries, cool boonaroos. Let's go to Tavi, man. We keeping it short and sweet, man, to the point.
Nah, I mean, we're kind of going back just quickly on JD's point on, did I miss the boat or where are things going and all that. And for you and for anybody else really coming in, the only thing I was going to add is, as you're either getting these shoes or, picking up these ones, specifically the Dunks, whether you get the W or you're going to buy them on resale, just realize that the Ghost and the Void have an NFT inside, right? So as you collect that will be your intro to potentially future drops and having that. The other thing I will add quickly is the whole point of even going with this mechanic specifically, right? Where you're not buying the NFT first, but you're buying the physical shoe, right? To make it a little bit more accessible for people, where it's like, if you like the shoe, buy the shoe, and oh, by the way, now you get the digital side and you can dive in if you want. If you don't, you don't have to, right? But it still allows you, if you want to resell that shoe, if you're in the reselling game, a solid way to ensure to your customer, your buyer, that these are actual legit pairs, right? And you didn't get scammed. So just a couple of little points that I wanted to make for.
And StockX takes a month to authenticate a good, and it takes you 2 seconds to scan your phone on an RFID. But that part
I
too.
just want to add real quick. I won't cut anybody off, but the StockX thing, be careful to anybody who does buy it because they won't validate the NFT. So if somebody sells you a pair on there and it says your NFT is already claimed, you got no recourse to that. So just keep that 100 because a lot of people are going to claim every NFT off it and then sell the shoe because it's not a required for StockX.
And that's like getting a Rolex without the certificate. But one thing that is super important to note, which this was something that came up, was if somebody claimed the NFT and then sold it to me on eBay or whatnot, can I still authenticate the shoe? Yes, you can. The only difference is now it links to the previous owner. What's interesting about that is if that becomes a part of the process, like, yo, I'm going to send you the certificate. Now it shows who the previous owner was. You can trail it all the way back to Nike and know how many owners it had, like a Carfax. That's basically what it is. You can see the exact time and date that it was like caught, the total supply. So there's a lot of information there that I think traditional sneakerheads and collectors want to be a part of. And so, and then there's an interesting aspect of, I used to hold Michael Jordan's shoes. Okay, maybe not Michael Jordan is claiming the NFT, but my point is, maybe Lil Baby, I got Lil Baby's Air Force Ones because he transferred the certificate to me, and that would show on that certificate. But if you don't transfer it, you could still scan and check that it's real. And there's a lot of mechanisms in there to stop, a bootlegging. And there's even been a pair of Air Force Ones that were artifact, that were bootleg, that didn't have the RFID in it, and the quality looked garbage. So, anyways, it's out there, but that's kind of to give you an idea to kind of add on to Chicago's point there.
And let
But
me
it's
add on to
true.
that point
Ask for
too,
the
right?
NFT.
look if you got the blockchain, and I know this is getting to the nerdy part of it, but if you got the blockchain that you can look and see who has the history of the ownership, imagine a pair gets sent to like I was gonna say Drake, but he lost. It got sent to Kendrick, right? And Kendrick ends up selling them, and somebody else picks them up. You can be like, yo, these were the sneakers that got sent to Kendrick, and we talking about resale. That's a whole nother rabbit hole you can go down, right? Like, so the possibilities are endless. And there is some cool factors that come along with a lot of the deepness pause that people don't want to necessarily dive into when it comes to these chips and the history that comes along with it. So off to the hands. Chicago was good, bro.
So I guess I'll add into the resale side of it just for what it is. Like I think like one thing that's going to be problematic, and I'm just going to throw it out there, is because secondary markets aren't going to give you the free bonus NFT or guarantee it. That also opens up the buyer to find out who the seller was. So if any of you claim the NFT and get a DM from anybody, that's both good and bad. Call it good because it allows it to happen, bad because places like StockX are going to cut that shit off really quick if you can communicate with the seller. Like that's just something that they can't let happen. But also at the same token, if you do buy one with the NFT and now the team just confirmed that it might be a mint pass for future ones, welcome to becoming a reseller because you are now one.
Yeah,
Regardless of how much you hated them, regardless of whatever it is, that's what it
yeesh.
makes you by default. And this
Yeah,
just allows
JD.
authentic. So if JD gets a pair and all of a sudden he decides that he doesn't want the next pair, you're a reseller now and it's okay.
Wow.
There's no stigma behind that. There's no anything behind it. We won't judge you any more than you judged us. And it's that simple. But like that's all
Live
part of the
long
game.
enough to
Like
see yourself become the villain.
what I want to just to that, like in the end, like it goes back to what I said. Like transparency is the fucking key. It's always been my shit. I wouldn't try to break Nike. I wouldn't try to break Ticketmaster. I wouldn't try to break any of these systems if they made them fair and transparent in the first place. Because the bigger problem is actually at the top, not at the bottom. People just do what's out there in the gray area of what's able. So like yes, this is the transfer of where I've said for a long time, even if people wanted to question it, the most important part of this all is the RFID, the ability to cut out a $16 an hour StockX new employee that just got hired off an ad on the paper from being able to do it. You don't have to worry about the fakes going through there.
Yeesh.
Well, that's just the
Damn.
truth. Like nobody at this
I
point, all
thought they
Nike
went through
has.
training. Don't they go through training?
Yeah, they do. But yo, dude, I've touched fucking a million pairs of shoes, and I couldn't tell you a fucking fake from a real because I buy mine and I'm the authenticity for my own shoe. So I don't
Yeah,
have to worry about that with me. Like that's the simple. Like I've never paid attention. People ask me to legit check something. Fuck if I know, dude. I'm a size 15. They don't fake them. So if it's a size 15, it's real. We don't have to have
touche.
this conversation. I know
Yeah.
now there's some fake 15s, whatever you want to say. The world's changed. But like that's all it is, man. This is like the Tommy Boy, man. Like I can give you a guarantee, like it's the Tommy Boy line about guarantees, and I can't even fucking remember it right now. But
Yo, that was,
you can
One
get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it.
one note on
Hey,
transparency.
yo.
That was wow. Note on transparency.
You never seen Tommy
they
Boy? I'm
it's
old as
above
fuck.
their
Yeah.
head. It's above
I'm
their
old
head,
as
bro.
fuck.
Just keep running with it.
Yo,
We know what you're talking about.
one note on transparency is that the when we had a recent drop in the artifact space, right? There was a specific collectible that's done by the same company that creates the cause statues and all that stuff, and the transparency on the blockchain, which would be the same for the purchases of the dunks and etc. Part of that is a benefit to understanding the technology. So people are in, the Twitter group that we have, the little private group, and people are like, yo, DUTCHEE, how many did they just sell? And that's something that you do not see in terms of transparency with limited collectibles. Sometimes they don't even tell you the supply, right? But I can see in real time who transacted, how many did they get, if someone got too many, and I can see how much money that they were able to receive, like meaning the brand. And I was reporting back in real time, okay, they just sold 10 more. These people bought a bundle. And that is something that the blockchain brings, is the fact that anyone on the public ledger can go to the website. And if you have, and not the website, it's not even controlled by someone who can take it down. That's part of it. It is basically a list that anyone can verify and cannot be modified And then if you know how to read it, that knowledge is power because you have ultimate transparency. So in theory, they could manage the supply chain from the moment that it leaves the factory, put that on the blockchain that it's gone, it's been transferred from here, now it's being sent to the retail places, or it got seeded to these influencers. And then if people go, well, wait a second, what happened to those 100 pairs? If you know how to read the blockchain, you could see where they're going and who has them. The moment they've activated their NFT, anybody can read that. You don't need to ask Nike. You don't need to hack their website to get a back end answer or ask a site that has somehow gotten some insider information. The whole key about all of this is the fact that it's ultimate transparency, that anybody in the world who has a computer can see the entire, from the moment that it's made all the way to who it's been transferred to, who's claimed it, how much money they have in that wallet. Did they get it transferred to them for free? Like, let's be honest. So in terms of ultimate transparency, I think it's a good thing for the collectible space. Is it going to be difficult for companies to be that transparent? Yeah, but you got to applaud Nike for trying to be on the forefront of that.
That's a big fact. Yo, so let's keep it running. We've been on this space for I don't even know how many hours now. I didn't have a voice when we started off. It's definitely
It's
leaving
3
now.
a.m. for me right now. I'm dead.
We've been super cooking. We gonna go to the hands. We got Mike Spikes. If you got something to say, bro, you want to drop off anything?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know my hands are raised, but I just want to say, y'all doing amazing things over there with the NFTs and the shoe game, man, and I just want to show some love and appreciation for that. But yeah, I didn't know my hands are raised, but I just got to show some love to y'all for what you've been doing. What y'all, hopefully do down the road, and I've been people from afar. You definitely showing us, how to do things the right way in terms of doing a drop and getting people word out there, and being part of these rooms, and just communicating with us, letting know what's up. So I appreciate that.
No, we appreciate you, Mike. Your hand went up, man. I just wanted to put you on the spot. You know what I mean? Like, so, go directly to the people.
Appreciate that, man.
I heard Marcus Jordan's one of the anonymous listeners at the bottom, and he's scared.
Marcus, what's good, man? Come through, bro. We got nothing but love for you. We can have a great discussion.
Marcus, cool, man. I had a chance to speak with him briefly. Marcus is all right.
Yeah, I would love a chance to speak to you briefly. You too, my brother. What's good? Come through.
Trophy Room 3 is coming out with an RFID. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to hate me next time.
Come on, bro.
I'm just keeping it a buck, bro. That would have never happened if we had RFIDs and everything, and then transparency's there, and then nobody has any reason to bitch. Only person that's going to be mad is the Nike board members because their revenues go down a little bit because they cut some bullshit out. That's it.
That's big. Wow. Yo.
Well, there's your bomb drop for the night. That's
You
crazy.
feel me?
Marcus been in Portland too. He been in Portland a lot.
He was also in Vegas right after the trophy room back door. So let's not talk about it. Like, where do you think that first 10 million went before the insurance scam? The insurance company wouldn't have paid out $11 million if those were RFID. What?
Yeah, Marcus. Yo, what's good? My DMs is open, bro. We can have a great conversation. We'd love to have you on the space and take it from there, man.
At least
so I guess what's up? We good? It's 3 a.m. when Dutchie's at Dutchie's across the pond. If nobody knows,
bro, I'm dead. I used to live in Miami. I moved to Europe. Right now it's 3 a.m. and we've been going for like 3 hours or 4 hours or something like that. Dre, let me ask you: if I bounce, then will the space keep going, or I rug everybody?
We rugging everybody. So he over there speaking the Queen's English. We can go to the man Breeze, and then we probably gonna rug this motherfucker.
All right, we rugging
Dutchie,
after
you can just
this.
go to sleep and put it there. Some people are into snoring noises and shit.
Some ASMR or ASMR. Antonio, is it Antonio who go next? Go for it, and then Breeze. I really got to bounce though after this for real.
Oh yeah, all of that. Word. All right, cool. Well, we got random people jumping up now. Who adding these mugs? They just coming through?
Well, you the co-host and I'm the host, and I'm not adding them, so it must be you.
I'm over here.
It must be you, bro.
Feeding my face, man. They just jumping in. All right, well, we appreciate y'all coming through. Key Lee, yo, I don't know what happened with the technicals of me and you not following each other, but I'm glad we got that straightened out. We're gonna keep it running. Corey, you already know what it is, brother. I appreciate you coming through for real.
All day.
We need to do this again sometime soon, and keep the awareness building and growing because it's all about that, man. For real, we
Let's
appreciate y'all
build the
coming through.
bridge and let's do this
Sure.
again for sure.
You know what I mean? So, yo, it's a good Friday night over here in LA, California, International Standard Time. I don't know what time it is where you are besides DUTCHEE because he told me, but I hope y'all enjoy the rest of the time that you do have. Thanks for tuning in. We will speak to y'all later.
Salute y'all.
And if
Appreciate
you
it.
got questions, follow each other and let's DM us if you got questions about anything off the record. You know what I mean? Peace.
Peace.